Good evening, everybody. Welcome to America's Third Party. I am here, but not yet. My look-alike has to make an appearance here. Yes, it's very important. For some reason, strangely but true, I don't know what happened, but my camera is missing. So normally we don't have this problem. But since today is Technology Thursday, here we are, working on technology. Thank you for coming in, and let's get up and running. Yes. Audio seems off. Let's take a look. Settings 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we just finished a cooking show, and it was good. And this system is usually queued, ready to go. Yeah, it's a default microphone. Should be okay. We are still trying to upgrade our microphone system, but yeah. It's one of those things that, it's on our list. So, welcome to America's Third Party and a home of the $400 per month per U.S. citizen, adult citizen plan. I am the originator of the basic income solution for America. I believe that this is an affordable amount, but if somebody's going to run against me and the number goes up, I'll have to compete. And I will guarantee to have the best deal for anybody in America. So you can survive the upcoming apocalypse. Okay, we have got a call. Hello?
David Waller.
Oh, hang on. We don't talk to that guy. Whew. Wow. So, if you have any serious calls, other than, people calling because they want to talk and then criticize others, then don't bother calling. Thank you. Some guy I don't take calls from anymore. Yeah. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. We have the technology to shut it off, but yeah, some people just, yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, well, what do you want to talk about, man? Last time you got me on the phone, you hung up on me, okay?
Hey, listen, the dude that was trolling you last night with the endless salad and all that bullshit,
Yeah.
this guy named fucking Dante that I through Blog Talk Radio 6 years ago. And him and I, we were exchanging emails talking about, like, how I met you. And he trolled your ass last night, so he's probably in there again tonight.
Okay.
So it's Dante. I'm not going to say his last name.
Okay.
It's a white dude,
All right.
Nothing crazy. Just letting you know.
Thank you for telling me. Okay. All right. See you later. Bye.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, he clarified that. I was thinking it was him, but now he clarified it wasn't him. Yeah, we didn't have a good conversation last time I talked to him, so I just didn't want to take his call because he hung up on me. It happens. Okay, so being this is Technology Thursday, it's important to talk about how Trump has not joined the Paris climate deal, sparking criticism at home and abroad. I'm actually okay with that. My idea was to never sign into a global climate change legislation like the Democrats. I've been against signing into carbon point legislation, cap and trade, since the beginning. And that's why we built this centrist political movement, because we cannot rely on the global elitists to handle some sort of a Ponzi scheme or a money game, a monopoly game like carbon point legislation. We cannot rely on that. I mean, we've seen the UN, and remember Kofi Annan, who managed to steal money from the fund that was going from the Iraqi government to the Russians and the French, and his son was involved in siphoning money. Well, this is exactly what I'm talking about. The recent Copenhagen Treaty that Obama signed actually ended up costing us and the world, because what happens is the really, really rich people, They end up buying a couple dairy farms and turning them into an electricity generating dairy farm. And you might think that's good. Well, they use those carbon point credits to justify their industries to continue polluting, like Dow Chemical, for instance, to let all kinds of waste go into our water and rivers, as well as into our air. And they use those carbon point credits to offset the waste that they're doing in those areas where they're industrial polluters. So the net effect is carbon point legislation and cap and trade does not work. It's not going to incentivize people to clean up their act in the big picture. It'll incentivize people cheating and screwing people over and ruining smaller businesses who have to meet all these excess requirements. So I applaud Donald Trump in his attempt to not sign this Paris Treaty. I think it's great. And unlike Elon Musk, who's openly said that, he's very upset, I'm actually elated. I'm glad. It's one of the nice high points of the night to know that he's not signing something that's going to put us in debt or make us part of a global alliance. And in a way, it is a big step toward our sovereignty again, because our country really needs to stay on track with sovereignty. George Washington finally found me on here tonight. Cool. The next 7 years, there's no need for cap and trade legislation. What we want to do is clean the environment. Okay? Now, the Democrats would stand here and like you to believe that there's some sort of a major drain on our society, that there's all these hands and mouths to feed, all these people that are sucking us dry and that we don't have enough resources. And you listen to this garbage. I've been hearing it since the 1970s when I went to UCLA. We learned Limits to Growth back then. It was a new book. Now it's taught as a regular book in every training indoctrination center in the country, every college. And it's costing us a lot to think that we're trying to destroy the earth by allowing these industrialists to then tell us that we need to also get rid of the population. So not only are we not allowed to replicate, and these people are allowed to pollute, but we're also having to breathe more toxic air because they're not willing to clean up their act. So real innovation is going to be at the very core of what I want to do for the country. And in order to assuage the need for resources, I would like to see more government operations like our regional food supplies. We don't have any. We don't have a strategic grain reserve. Ever since Bush left, we've lost our strategic grain reserve. So we don't have anything in terms of government food operations. That's where I'm going to pick up a huge amount. We're going to make sure we have regional supplies at every FEMA regional food center in the country. We're going to make sure we have no grain reserve. Look it up. We don't have a grain reserve. Our country is being run by global elitists who would rather see us starve. They'd rather see a drought in California. They'd rather see California no longer produce vegetables. These people are global environmental terrorists, and they're rich, and they want to destroy our environment because they want to weaken our country. So Sir Waffles, I majored in poli-sci, and I was really disappointed at UCLA because most of the teachers were communists, Marxists, and I couldn't understand why they were pushing this ideology. Okay. I didn't know that, George Washington. Thanks. You're telling people all kinds of weird secrets. Okay, we're going to let our guests into our show now. We have a lot of guests that come in, and it's been a difficult, couple days with the guest chat because they're abusing the privilege of coming in here and hosing us. Trolling and attacking and, all this stuff. So I have to put up with this to do our show, but it's worth it. This is Venice Beach in your district, and these were taken in 6 hours apart. Still think climate change isn't real? Wow. Okay. Maxine, I think, yeah, I think they call that a tide. Yeah. Okay. And she got the impeach incorrect. She spelled it impeach. We don't have a really good, strong leader to launch this impeachment. And I would love to be in Congress right now to be able to help Maxine, but if you want to give me a ring, Maxine, I might be able to, help spearhead your impeachment process for you. She seemed to be a little covfefe there when she wrote impeach. Covfefe is now the word for people that are completely out of touch with reality and don't even care about what they're doing in their professional career. Like Donald Trump, who clearly doesn't care that he's completely out of touch with reality right now. And when he wrote Covfefe, Covfefe is now the word that's just going viral. It's amazing. Well, people think that Hillary's going to run for president in 2020. Well, I'll definitely take her on. I don't think her physical being will handle it. She has this coughing issue. They say that she may have Parkinson's. And they also believe that she's got this terrible coughing problem, which prevents her from speaking. So maybe life itself will kind of take its toll and send her to more of a retirement position. Because she doesn't have the answers for America, I assure you. And she has too much baggage. 117 people on the Clinton death count, body count, that's just ridiculous. We need to actually process her with statements on every one of these cases. She and Bill need to speak out because they can't get away with this anymore. It's, the Seth Rich thing, the 117th death, Seth Rich. He is definitely, it's a wide open case, and the investigation needs to proceed. And supposedly a detective found out that the government's saying to stand down on this. So Seth Rich was trying to save the country by revealing the corruption in his own party, and he was a Bernie supporter. It's interesting to see how these Bernie supporters are finally realizing, wow, the Democratic Party is not what you think it is. So, yeah, I don't think she's going to make it to 2020 physically. I don't think she's going to be a strong candidate to worry about. Cophephus manus parvus, a small noisy bird that compensates for its lack of stature with flamboyant plumage. That's a really good definition. Yeah, covfefe. Even though that's just a made-up definition, it does make sense. Yeah, it does sound kind of funny. Well, I was the one that diagnosed Trump with vagina envy back in the day. And I'm not a psychiatrist, but I read the works of Karen Horney, who was the expert on vagina envy. And everything that she wrote back in the 1930s about vagina envy, Trump has. It wasn't a typo? It's not made up? Are you rewriting life itself? Okay. Somebody probably put that in the definition book instantaneously. The CIA probably loaded it as a word. Well, vagina envy is a malady that happens to men who are very jealous of their mothers and who want to somehow have a vagina. And what they're noted for, and Karen Horney said that they're noted for their obsession with their name. Now, I'm not obsessed with my name. Even though it's on the screen, I'm not obsessed with it. I don't have Sponheim Enterprises. I don't have Sponheim Escort Service. I didn't just score 38 trademarks in China called Sponheim Escort Service and all these other ones. Ivanka met with President Xi Jinping and actually negotiated a deal where they got 38 Trump trademarks approved. One of them is Trump Escort Service. Now, I don't know what she did for him or to him while they were together, but President Xi Jinping really likes her. But there was one thing in trade, and we definitely are now going to be receiving Chinese chicken. A whole lot of Chinese chicken. Yeah. So apparently we did make a deal with the devil because they don't have a lot of chicken in China. They have a lot of dog, a lot of cat, a lot of rat meat. And now there's word that there's these boneless pieces of rat meat that are coming out of China. They're calling them boneless wings. We don't need no stinking Chinese chicken. And I can tell you, no Sponheim Escort, sorry. I can tell you that this Chinese, first of all, the idea of allowing chicken like that into our country is absurd. We have one of the best chicken manufacturers in the world, Tyson Foods. They produce chicken like it was yesterday. It's like, it's easy for them. So for Donald Trump to trade Chinese chicken for 38 trademarks alone is insane. Conflict of interest is everything you want. And I don't know what else Ivanka did for President Xi to make him do that deal. But now we're going to be eating rat meat thanks to Donald Trump so he can have his trademarks over in China. Nice, huh? Well, when I go to Chinese food restaurants, usually like buffets, they're run out of one central company. Most of them take their food shipments from one central shipping agency out of China. So I'd be willing to bet that if we opened up one of those containers from China right now, or even last month before he approved Chinese chicken, it was probably, dog meat. Yep, exactly. Meow says it's not chicken, it's dog meat. There you go. You must know. Okay, the impeachment numbers and approval rises in poll. Okay, well, MSNBC is not something I want to quote right now, but until we see some real action from the special investigator, special prosecutor Mueller, I have a feeling he's got serious hemorrhoids and he can't even get out of bed. That's why they chose him. He's probably saying, "Honey, could you get the preparation H? I gotta make it to this meeting. Yeah, this tie is from a company called Scorched Earth. My sister got this for me in Australia, and it's a pattern that the Australian Aborigines developed. So they actually make money from the sale of the tie, which is kind of cool. Anyway, I've got a lot of fun ties. Millions and billions of viewers. It's going to be the most tremendous, it's going to be huge, the most tremendous impeachment ever. It's going to have the highest ratings of any impeachment. Kofifi is not a word, man. If the CIA managed to pull that one off, they're pretty good. Installing a definition of dictionary and pretending like it exists is pretty slick of the CIA, I'll tell you that. They can do that. They've got total control. Hey, this is why I use a browser called Epic. 46 trackers just came in and it blocked them all just to get a website open. Epic is built off the Chrome model, but it has very little access to you can't allow these things to come into your computer. They can just literally lock it up. Okay, the Vatican would see U.S. Paris deal exit as a slap in the face. Yep, it's official. I don't even know why they met. I mean, except for the fact they both work for the same warlord. The Illuminati, the Rothschild family, pretty much manages the Pope, the Vatican's money. And Donald Trump wouldn't have been president if he hadn't sucked up to Kissinger and the New World Order. So there you have it. Sponheim building and remodeling. Wow, there's a guy out there in Fairview, Montana. Yeah. 7 years, 4 months now, they make building and remodeling. Cool. There's a lot of Sponheims out there, especially in that area. We had a meat company come to our house. They sell meat from Montana. And I have a relative who died out there who is infamous. And his name was Donald Sponheim. And the guy said, "Hey, you've got Sponheim as your last name. Do you know Donald?" "No, I'm not a felon. I have no criminal record." And I said, "Yeah, we never met him, but we heard about him. Everybody heard about Donald. 2,000 people went to his funeral. He owned a bar in the area, and everybody knew Donald Sponheim. So the name is very popular out there in Montana. But that's where my family settled in the Midwest, and they split up in various areas. My dad grew up in North Dakota and then moved to California. But a lot of people stayed out there, and a lot of them moved up to Alberta and Manitoba. So there are people up there named Sponheim. We have a lot of people watching. We got a lot of people looking for ways to fix the country too. Donald Trump is obviously not going to fix the country by signing or not signing the Paris Accord, but he has helped our sovereignty, and I approve the move that he just made. I think it's great. We need to start thinking of green technologies that can spark brand new ideas and build industries. Now, there's a need for vertical windmills like this one, this 10 kilowatt vertical axis wind turbine. There's a need for these types of things so we can build these in America and we can actually start becoming the world leader in green clean technologies, I call them. And I think that's going to be a big, huge plus when I get started. Donald is not so keen on new technologies because he simply, doesn't understand the necessity of building this and getting the venture capitalists out of this whole venue. We find that venture capitalists, whenever they get involved in things, they tend to corrupt them. Look at the solar power industry and Solyndra. Barack Obama gave $530 million to Solyndra. They produced next to nothing. It's bizarre, but it's something that continually baffles my mind how the government gives money to companies, watches them go under, and suck that money into a vortex of their own making, and then never produce any real products. But it's common. So one of the things I'm going to be doing is building the solar rooftop plan for America. So I hope that 30% of our energy can come from solar power generated on our rooftops. And this idea actually could come to pass for free. If you have a rooftop, many people do, facing the south, we would offer to lease the top of your roof, and that side of your roof would be covered side to side, even more so than this picture demonstrates. So you wouldn't even need to roof it after we put the layers of solar panels on there. And you're wondering how's it going to get paid for? Well, the money it saves you every month, it'll drop your electric bill 10, 20%, and we'll take 10 or 20% to pay for it. And we'll do that as long as it takes to pay for the unit and service the maintenance on it. Another concept that I generated was this idea of taking vertical windmills like the Savonius windmill and putting it on electric poles. And that's something the government's going to be involved in as well. So imagine government enterprises doing what we should have been doing all along, which is sparking industry. Now you're going to say, well, who's going to make these solar panels? Well, it turns out the solar panels are being made right now by the Army Corps of Engineers. So they're actually pumping out exactly what we need. It's not going to be too hard to retrofit this into a mass production scenario and get this thing rolling. Here's the Army Corps of Engineers and what they've developed for the Army. So these things could be perfect on top of rooftops. Perfect. I don't know if there are any Australians or Canadians. Well, they're definitely Canadians, yeah. PowerJ says there's a store owner accused of food stamp fraud, and the bail is set at $2 million in Buffalo, New York. Huh. The owner of a Buffalo deli is being held on $2 million bail for welfare fraud. Public benefit cards, misuse of food stamps, and criminal use of public benefit. He's 37. His name is Ahmed Al-Shami. He's the operator of IGA Express Mart in the city of Buffalo. Wow. That's a big bail for a guy from Buffalo. I am. I'm an Omega. I'm an Alpha and an Omega male. St. Louis, nobody would do that. You can do it yourself and sell to the grid and have the electric bill become somewhat wealthy. Actually, no, not at all. There are people that would do a solar panel rooftop if number one, if their rooftop was getting old and they didn't want to pay for a roof job on that side of their house. There's going to be people that would be willing to do this because they're going to save up to 20% on their electric bill, and we're going to get 20% until that's paid off. And then their savings continue. So people saving money on electric really will add up, and they'll be wanting to do it because it's not going to cost them a thing. Yeah, we're not buying megabytes for $12, dude. You can get 64 gigabyte flash drives, USB 3.0 flash drives, 64 gigabyte for as low as 30 bucks a piece now. Isn't that unbelievable? It's like, wow. I recently bought two 32 gigabyte flash memory sticks, USB 3.0, for $16.95 at Costco. And it's just amazing the memory has become so reasonable. It's one of the reasons why people saw the benefit of Microsoft over the years, even though it was pretty much a poor operating system, the Windows operating system. It flourished because it was able to build patches upon patches and take up memory. Because memory was getting cheaper as Windows continued to roll out new versions without security. So, yeah, I saw this turbine the other day. It was pretty cool. Yeah, this is another turbine. This is the kind of thing that will definitely make energy. There's no question about it. So, why not? If every home in America had a wind turbine like this, we could save over 65% on our utilities. Exactly. So there's a reason why we have not seen really, really good deals on electricity. Because they don't want to give us really, really good deals on electricity. They want to keep ripping us off. That's what they do. And they're good at it. So we have to build a political force, a third party will do this, that will not engage in cap and trade. And I'm glad Donald Trump is not engaging in Paris Treaty. And it develops these new technologies. I call it innovation. And I think it's a lot better than getting involved in some Ponzi scheme or a monopoly game. And the Democrats are going to lose, in my opinion, because all they do is talk about cap and trade. And it's going to cost you more money for everything, including meat at the meat market. You're going to be paying more in all kinds of fees this year because of what Obama put in last year. Now, hopefully, Trump will not be in favor of pushing for any increases in the cost of our food because of climate change issues. But I can tell you that these innovations I'm talking about will fund themselves. We're not going to charge your taxes to put these in. And I'm not going to use your tax dollars to fund these operations. They're already making these at the U.S. Army. All right, so these are just new and great innovations that could definitely lower the emissions in our country. But living under the fear tactics of the UN, sorry. And I applaud what Donald Trump did today by not signing that. You're in a meat market, really? Oh, you're talking about whorehouses. Well, that's not a meat market, man. Dude, I don't live in your world. So, I don't go to prostitutes. But if you're in China and you need to access an escort, you might want to contact Trump Escort Services now that they're trademarked. And I don't even think they're prostitutes. I think they're just escorts. I mean, why would our president have an escort service in China? Does anybody know? No, I'm not a person who's into sex and drugs. I'm a pretty straightforward guy. I'm more similar to Ronald Reagan that way. You never thought of Ronald Reagan going out and getting down with Nancy. It wasn't like you were thinking of, well, Nancy and I are going to be getting involved in a BDSM ceremony where we're going to pee on each other. I mean, you can't imagine that. I mean, I can't imagine being that kind of a person. And neither can Ronald Reagan, I'm sure. So I'm not sure why a lot of you people have fallen into the abyss of narcissism and depravity. And I'm not in that abyss, so I can tell you many of you who are living that life are probably going to die of AIDS. So I know Trump has blown it with so many people around the world. I'm more upset at how he treated our economic trading partners overseas, pushing them around, acting all like a bully. Those are the things that really piss people off, not the fact that he didn't sign the Paris Treaty. That's a side note. Accountable development, smart growth for working families. Subsidy tracker parent company. I'm not sure what you're showing me here. Okay, this article from The Independent says that Donald Trump might be the dimmest president the U.S. has ever had. The dimmest. It should come as no surprise, and it has not, that he is sorely lacking in sophistication, knowledge of the world, understanding of government, and a rudimentary grasp of economics. Yeah. President Donald Trump does not read, except in small doses and when his own name appears prominently. Prior to the presidency, his only activities were work and golf. He does not mingle with intellectuals, cultural trendsetters, or artists. It should come as no surprise, and it is not, that he is sorely lacking in sophistication, knowledge of the world, understanding of government, and a rudimentary grasp of economics. Sitting atop arguably the greatest resource on the planet, the body of knowledge retained by the American government experts on everything from economics and medicine to military history, he remains blissfully ignorant on a range of subjects. He surrounds himself with dim yes men who know little more than he, and in any event tremble at the prospect of correcting their dear leader. But sometimes you wonder whether Trump is just, well, dumb. The Associated Press reports Trump has been handing out his cell phone number to world leaders and urging them to call him immediately, directly. An unusual invitation that breaks diplomatic protocol and is raising concerns about the security and the secrecy of the U.S. Commander-in-Chief's communications. Trump has urged leaders of Canada and Mexico to reach him on his cell phone, according to former and current U.S. officials with direct knowledge of the practice. Now, this is a gross violation of our national security. He doesn't understand that these are things that can be intercepted by all kinds of devices. And there's technologies that the police even use to scan your cell phone data. It's amazing. Kofifi. Okay, that's good. We're getting new definitions of Kofifi every day. Hola, buenos noches. Oh, okay, grande, grande. What are you saying? Sarah will have to interpret all these things.
Grande is big.
No, I got that, but I don't. The other one is just a little funny. Hey there, Mad Dog. Welcome, man. What would you do if Trump pushed you during a UN meeting? I'd trip him. I would trip him and he'd land flat on his face. I'd just stick my foot out.
You just sock him?
No, I'd just trip him. He'd just fall right on his face, and he'd feel very Kofifi. Sarah is here, and she's got her rain jacket on. We had a little rain here because of all the chemtrails. My tax reform plan is actually a flat tax. It's trying to erase the excesses of our progressive tax system by eliminating tax deductions and tax credits, and making sure everyone pays the same amount, whether you're a business, individual, even a corporation, would pay 10% on income over 100,000. It's a big departure from our existing progressive tax code. Nigel Farage is a person of interest in an FBI investigation into Trump and Russia. Good to know. Thank you, Scissor Fight. I always thought something was wrong with Nigel Farage.
Nice job.
Good job, Mad Dog. Working out every day. Just avoid the carbs, man. Just stay away from carbs. That's like poison. Hey, let's go guest off. And we are under attack here. I have every reason to believe that these people are working for the competition and making up lies about me. I don't have any criminal record whatsoever. I have a zero criminal record. You made zucchini pasta for supper? Cool. I will put guest on as soon as Sarah is done here. Give me a break. I am going to get a little bit of my dinner that I made. Yeah.
Nice. Zucchini pasta. Remember that time I made the zucchini lasagna? That was pretty good.
Oh, yeah, that was very good. We had these big zucchinis. Today I only had 2 little zucchinis.
Like big, heavyweight lasagna because it's too much cheese.
Yeah. How's your day?
It was okay.
Good.
Yeah, it was pretty good actually.
Good.
Today we played the classic Oregon Trail game.
Oh.
Which was pretty cool.
That's cool.
There's another one.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I know.
2 seasoned zucchini. Beef zucchini rice I made. You know, I had these ingredients. I said, yeah, I'm going to bring them together and see how they taste. And I put a little bit of hot sauce in it, so it should be tasty.
Oh, okay. I thought you made chili. It smelled so good.
Yeah. Well, I had a pound of meat, which I got for $1.99. And if you can get a pound of ground beef for $1.99, it's a pretty good deal.
Are we on here or no?
So you're serious? Chat room celebrity said that. No, I haven't gotten in there yet. I did start at the broadcast though.
Okay. So.
Let me do that.
That's fine. It should.
So preview broadcast.
That's what I was trying to do.
Let me know. We're on there.
It's
Okay.
fine. And then you have to go live. And,
No, Donald Trump is giving his phone number to world leaders, and that's a problem because without screening,
you have to go live.
this could be a major problem. No, Donald Trump is without the any type of interference. The NSA needs to monitor all calls in and out of the president. So you can get ground beef at Trader Joe's for $3 to $4 a pound. That probably is pretty good beef too. So that's good. No, actually, this was a sale at Safeway. I made sure there was a good deal on Safeway, and they pulled this meat right out of the freezer or right out of their fresh cut. It was good. No, but actually, this was a sale at Safeway. Don't cook with meat. So having meat is something I usually spread out with rice.
Any kind of carb.
Yeah.
David likes to spread things out with some carbs.
Yeah, Safeway sells hard liquor in Washington State. All the markets do now. They passed a law. They got rid of the state liquor stores, and they lost about $100 million in revenue. But the state of Washington picked up about $400 million in revenue from marijuana legalization. So it offset the state liquor store revenue. Gold is at 1262 and silver at 1718. The Dow Jones is at 21,144.
I was just going to change this each day since I have access to
Sure,
it.
yeah,
So
Facebook,
June.
yeah. So we're going to be just taking in all this action, the investigations, the House, the Senate, and the special prosecutor into the Russian connection. We're going to find out if that's something that's going to be your 401k is doing well. Okay, good. We're going to see if this Russian involvement with Trump has been thoroughly vetted. I know they just released 7 subpoenas that are going out for various people in the Trump cabinet. That's a start. There's also a thing that Trump did recently where he had a waiver. And you remember when Trump said he was not going to hire lobbyists? And he did the same thing Obama did, said not going to hire lobbyists. Well, he had a waiver for 17 people with lobbyists backgrounds to join his administration. And now the government's saying this could be illegal, what he's doing. You can't have a waiver for these people to avoid an executive order you yourself passed, Donald Trump. I mean, this is ridiculous. Okay, and I'll be back in a bit. Thank you.
All right, there we go.
Okay, and I'll be back in a bit. Thank you.
Okay, everyone can see that I'm watching, but I'm the only one watching, so fantastic. There we go. Whatever that means. All right. Good to hear it, George. Nice. So lovely. Do I have a secret bank account? I have separate segregated bank accounts. How about that? So I don't mix my money together. Trump is doing... Oh. Do you think Trump is doing awesome things? Awesome things. Thank you, Dino. Thank you, Dino. And thanks, Planet Fitness. Alright, I just have to keep muting tabs. Mute. Oh, I'm so glad you like David Sisyphus. That's fantastic. Your parents share one bank account. You and your dad have a joint bank account. He puts $1,000 in your account every birthday. That's nice. Very cool. Yeah, I like having a separate bank account. And actually, I don't just have one separate bank account. I like looking for places that offer a little bit of interest I know that's very difficult to come by now. Oh, your check is direct deposited to your parents' accounts? And that's the account you share with your parents? Or you let your parents just dole you out money as you need it? Oh, ha! That's pretty funny, Planet Fitness. Like you have separate bank accounts and your dad moves money over to your account and then you move it back into his account. Oh, well, that's pretty cool to know. I like that. And why not? You know, take advantage of living with your parents. But I don't know if I would give them your entire paycheck. You might want to, like, start up your paycheck, especially if you're planning to get married and buy your own house, then you just need to start building up your credit, unless you're planning on paying for your house with cash. And that can, that if you're able to do that, then that's fantastic, but not many people are able to do that, especially when you hear, yeah, well, you'll have the summer, right? Isn't it amazing how much you can save? And then one of the things that you need to look into to know, because isn't this your first year, is one, putting money into a, you can, well, look into an IRA. You can put into either a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA. And the difference is that in a Roth IRA, you don't pay for the taxes until you get it out. And that is really good. Actually, no, a Roth IRA, you pay for the taxes now. And so when you get it out, you don't pay for the taxes. That one is really good for people who make little, just a little bit of money, because then their income tax bracket is low right now, and when they retire, their income tax bracket is low, and you can put $5,500 into that, or into a traditional IRA. You can put $5,500, either one or combined, but not both. In other words, you can't put $11,000 into an IRAs in a year. I know paychecks are like huge; they take huge chunks out. But the other thing that you want to look into if you are able to save is, if your employee, is see if they have a 403B and a 427. A 427 is called deferred compensation. I believe that's right. Anyway, what that is if you're making enough money or to start paying taxes on it, you're saying, I want to, I believe it's, I want to pay taxes on it later. Yes. So that one's good because it can actually lower you into a smaller tax bracket. And then the other one is a 403B, and I don't know too much about that. Very much. I don't know too much about that, except that you want to look into it. And see, I'm the type, I don't want to pay a financial advisor to tell me how to spend my money or what to do with my money. So I did take a financial planning class, and that helped me. It did help me a little bit, I would say.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, that's old news. Let me look at who else should I be on. Okay, just a sec. Scissor fight. I will get that one in a moment. I'm trying to get all of my chat rooms open so I can scroll through them. Dave Ramsey's class at church, huh? Chew watching my live show on YouTube. Myself and somebody else. I don't know who that someone else is. Thank you, thank you. And then, oh, where is it? I don't want this. Here we go. Okay, some notification. All right, fantastic. Okay, now Scissorfight, I will click on your link. Oh yes, with school spelled wrong. And if they change the S in that spelling, to an A and an L, maybe that's what they were on when they created that. At least they have all the letters there. It shows if you save $200 a month for 30 years, you can retire as a millionaire. Really? If you don't put into it into some places where you lose it. It all depends on how much interest you make, right? Well, yes, John Uncaged, unless you're at a low tax bracket already, a 401k is an IRA. And if you have an employer funded one or your employer is willing to match your funds, you want to do both of those. But if you want to do a Roth IRA, if you're already at a low tax bracket, and if you are at a higher tax bracket, you want to do a traditional IRA. But I agree with you. Either kind of 401k is good, whether it's Roth or IRA. And the IRA just stands for, I think it's investment retirement account. Hello, Miss Coco. Thanks, Dave's hairpiece. I'm looking fabulous today. I appreciate that. All right, let's see all the places I'm outputting to, and if I need it. Oh, Ustream, right. I choose to output to Ustream. David doesn't seem to value it as much as I do. He would value it if it allowed guest chat, but then he wouldn't be monitoring the guest chat, so then, just wonder. I wonder about those things. All right, let me make sure. Pen. All right, good. David's always happy. Oh, a man that invested in Coca-Cola for 30 years, put it into a stock and it builds interest in one that has security so that you don't lose money when it goes down. And there is some things about, you say 200 a month. There's a certain type of investing called, you do it continually on the same time all the time, and then that way if you're buying shares, you buy them whether it goes up or down, you're buying it, you're getting a good value, let's say that. But it's so if you invest the same amounts every single month, when it's low you're going to buy more shares, and then when it's high you're going to buy less shares. Well, I would say he should be watching his own blood pressure, but whatever. Wow, that's pretty cool audio. The math on saving 63 or 200 a month only equals 63,000 before interest over 30 years. I don't know, Miss Coco. South Carolina Living Magazine. How fun is that? Ha ha ha, Miss Coco. That's funny. Yeah, so I guess it's about investing. Oh, and you live in Southern California? South Carolina too. How do you like it down there? Are you originally from there, Janelle? And are the kids nice? Because everybody I've met from South Carolina, they're just so polite and nice, and they're just nice people. And so I wonder if I should look into going down there, but then again, how much do you get paid and all that? That's so funny. Ha ha ha, Miss Coco. Oh, that's kind of cool. French Huguenot settled there. Cost of living's cheap. Teachers are paid well. Well, no, I'd be taking David with me, Miss Coco, if I moved to South Carolina. But I don't think I'm going to move to South Carolina because I really like where I'm at right now. I know David's not so keen because of the jets, but I really like it here. Really? Wow. Now that's pretty cool to know. Well, it's a fun bathroom. Blue pastel. No, I'm not going to. I'll say this, guesties can maybe watch me at Ustream, and maybe I'll see if there's a way to unmute guests. Allow guests Ustream. I think it's so moderate off. Let me try that over at Ustream. Hello, Lynette Hicks. Thank you for liking us. Oh, and thanks for how the hearts are happening. I'm not sure on Twitter, but I appreciate it. I have somebody live watching me and giving me hearts. I appreciate that. And that's me. And that's me. Okay, and let me see. I'm working through my way through. David is sexy. We established that. Periscope. Facebook. Battlecam, which I don't really chat at. YouTube. Oh, here we go. Moderate off. No, that didn't work. I was doing it in the wrong spot. Maybe. Oh no, that's right. That's the chat. Okay, somebody can go try to. Guests, you can try to go to ustream.tv/channel/America's Third Party and try to chat in there. And we'll try it out. Oh, Mr. Butler, I think you need to clean it. I can buy land really cheap right now in South Carolina. Maybe I should buy it now when I can afford it. But how cheap is cheap? Because I don't want to go into debt buying it. Ha, a plateau is the highest form of flattery. Ha. I like all those puns and jokes or whatever. 6 acres for 50 grand. That's pretty cool. Hello, Anonymous. You're trying to chat. I tried turning moderate off, so let's see if it works. Yes. It says please log into chat. Maybe they turned off the commands on Ustream. That's what David was saying. What are you trying to send to David, Trump's butler? Yeah, it's nice to be without too many neighbors. No video black screen. Try this, or you can try the Periscope. Yeah, what happened to Misanthropy? Or you can try. Thanks. I'll say thanks, Lynette. Okay, you could try this one. What does coffee do? Well, coffee has caffeine in it. And it's a diuretic, so it makes you use the restroom. Oh, maybe that is what Misanthropy's up to. Tandaleo. Tandaleo? I think Tandaleo was the name for a relative of David's or something. Yeah, I am. So it's really not that difficult to make an account. It's a free, it's everything you need to do is free to make an account. And so I don't feel sorry for guests that can't, spam an address or, use their anonymity to try to harass people. Okay, Mad Dog. I think, yeah, what is the problem with making a free Vaughn account other than the fact that you lose your anonymity? I do have, I think I do. It's totally easy to make an account. You lose anonymity, but it's easy. David did not tell me your idea yet, Misanthropy, and Mad Dog said he missed you and he's glad you're back. I don't think you would be necessarily, so some people don't want to support the site by making an account. Go away, jerk. Yeah. Oh, Zykes. You were in the Von Live black screen. Deeker, is Mark censoring again? I don't know, but I'm glad to see that you're over here, Sykes, over on Ustream. I'm going to definitely leave Ustream open. I'm watching you now. I hope not. But I'm going to leave Ustream open and see if we can get more people to go over there because David thinks it's like not a worthwhile venture, and I do. Sorry, I didn't see your things. Oh, we rewrite the logical fallacies and trollices to show people how their trolling is uncreative and lame. That's your idea? That's pretty good. Yeah, I do like I like quite a few of Jacques Fresco's ideas, but the, thanks, Deeker. But I don't like the fact that he thinks that government can't solve any problems. So he just totally doesn't subscribe to any government. He thinks it's better to have no government than to have a government that's trying to help people. I haven't yet tasted David's dinner. Deputy Panda. Trying to think who was I remember Deputy Panda, but I was trying to think of the other names that Deputy Panda had. Yes, thank you. I am boring. Very boring. Well, I agree. People shouldn't worship government or anything. Oh, John, I see. You want to save the planet. You don't really care about the human race. Yeah, it's quick and easy to join over at Ustream. So you guys can watch us over at Ustream, ustream.tv/channel/America's Third Party. Okay, well, isn't that already brought about in just another dimension? Mad Dog, you say government will never create utopia, only Jesus Christ will bring that about. Isn't that already brought about in another dimension, aka heaven? Or that Andy's coming, you say Jesus is coming. Andy's coming is a Toy Story thing. You don't like Ustream? Yeah. Super easy to join. So, in that millennium, for that 1,000 years, or, very cool. Hey, Anonymous 179. You might have to join. I don't know if they allow trolls to chat. I tried turning off the moderator stuff, but I'd have to look into the rules and figure it out. Or the codes. You think that humans will go from planet to planet and ruin all the planets? Is it okay? Well, I personally think the planet's going to survive with or without humanity. I mean, look at all the planets that don't have humans on them. So, I'm a save the humans kind of girl. So I guess that's one of the reasons I like Fresco. Yeah, no, guests will go there. Why? I don't understand. I would ask this. Why release the guests when guests can make accounts? And it's not very difficult to make an account. Anywhere. I'm broadcasting on 5 different places. So if you're a Twitter person, I'm broadcasting on Periscope. If you're a YouTube person, I'm broadcasting there. If you're a Facebook person, I'm broadcasting there. Oh, nice. Lynette says, thank you for using Facebook Live. She canceled her ISP, so now she can watch our show on her phone. Very cool. I'm going to leave that up so David can see it. Yeah, calling me name or Mad Dog name isn't getting you anywhere. I think you deserve a timeout. And he can make another account. It's not even difficult to make a second account if you get muted or banned. And if you get muted or banned, you probably deserve it. So Periscope, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Battlecam, and Ustream. And then here, of course, at Vaughn Live. I'm everywhere. I'm sure might be places that I'm not, but and you'll say, well, Sarah, why aren't you at such and such place? Yes, there are plenty of free VPNs to use, so get a VPN and then make your account.
Yeah, I was showing people seaweed shooters today. They were shocked that I was eating raw seaweed, but it's rehydrated from.
Oh, the seaweed.
Yeah, I picked up a bunch of seaweed right when Fukushima happened. I said, well, I better buy the pre-Fukushima seaweed, and I've got, I'm using it now, so I'm rehydrating it every day now and having a little seaweed. It's good for minerals. So I'll be getting guest chat in just a bit, folks. Thank you for waiting.
I say no. I won't be bringing guest chat in. It's so easy to make an account.
I know.
I agree that we should have as Jacques says, the logical management of our resources.
Yeah, logical management of our resources, like the late Jacques Fresco suggested, takes into account the real needs of people. I mean, the Rothschild family doesn't need to have 17 homes and underground bunkers. I mean, the money differential in the world has created these open sores on our civilization, and we now have the ultra rich in Los Angeles gather at the airport behind a one-way screen. They can actually look at the poor people when they come into LAX. They can, oh, look at the poor people, and they're breathing filtered air. And oh, look at the poor people. Oh, do you realize how hard it is to get a car? Let alone find your way around in this god-forsaken city in Los Angeles, darling. Look at how the poor people are suffering. We've got this huge disparity.
Yeah.
Seaweed is a superfood like avocados. It helps. There's some really interesting qualities. The Japanese eat a lot of seaweed, and they're probably watching this show going, "Oh yeah, we do." Miso soup is very popular. The Japanese are also one of the most addicted to cigarettes of any culture in the world. There are more cigarette smokers in Japan to this day than any other country per capita, but they have the least amount of lung cancer.
Oh.
And many people believe it could be the seaweed that
Yeah.
helps their bodies withstand, build the immune system against cancer.
It could be.
Sarah, does Dave bore
Yes.
you? Yes, he doesn't.
Dave doesn't bore me. I bore David.
I'm not bored.
Okay, so he sees why not a lot of chatters are at Ustream. There's not a lot of options like changing texts or emos or smiles or things like that.
You got nothing
Good
in
point,
Ustream.
Zykes.
It's scaled back, Zykes. Good point. Yeah, and we know that Ustream is not going to be a big plus for us, so we're just keeping it open for people that want to see us on a tablet, because Mark still doesn't have a good tablet program, and Ustream does. And if you want to catch our show on your tablet anywhere in the country or in the world, go ahead and go to ustream.tv/channel/America's Third Party.
Now, at Facebook, Lynette said thank you
Hang on.
for using Facebook Live, and that she canceled her ISP, and so she is able to watch you on Facebook Live on her phone.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's so cool. I'm so glad we made that you made that transition, and I'm so thankful for that.
Well, you pushed it.
I'm the person who's nagging Sarah, and I don't push her too much. I try to minimize it.
We've already tried it, blogtv.ca. We tried it the first day it came out, and it crashed.
Yeah, it hasn't
So
been
sure,
running
we
since
could
then.
try it again.
As soon as they're up and
We
running, we're waiting.
can also go back to and try iVlog and uVlog and all that. iVlog, uVlog, we all vlog.
They haven't really gotten that thing going, blogtv.ca. It's strange that technology was expected to be out 6 months ago and never made it. They crashed. They got DDoSed hard. I've tried iBlog. It's not a very popular site.
Well, the thing about iVlog, the reason I haven't tried it is because they want me to pay to get the RTMP feed, but maybe I should. Let's see. I'll try
We can
it.
just go on iBlog right now. I mean, but we're splitting our signal for 6, 7 ways. I don't really want to do that. I don't think it's worth it.
But maybe they have guest ability.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't even know my iVlog information.
No, the stream name must be specified, so maybe we have to do that another time.
Oh, okay.
We'll consider iBlog, but I found it to be relatively difficult. iBlog has guests? Okay, well maybe we will go to iBlog. Okay.
But then Misanthropy says iVlog doesn't work.
It doesn't work for you. Oh, then maybe we won't go to iBlog. Remember Tiny Chat
Anyway,
and
I have these
yeah.
for you to scroll through.
Okay.
I'm going to move this one over here. But there is your Ustream.
Yep.
On the plus side, Ustream is easy to sign in on your iPod.
Yes.
Ustream app.
Yes, the iPod Ustream app is outstanding. That's why we recommend people doing that instead. So Mark has gotten Puffin working with Vaughn Live, but you've not tested it out on your mobile phone? Okay, well, I heard Puffin was having some changes and that they did not work with Vaughn for a while.
And there's YouTube.
So iVlog is a cesspool, the Las Vegas of Vaughn. Oh, no kidding. Wow.
Battle Cam.
Yeah, we need a little more higher level
Facebook
echelon
and
group
Periscope.
of people. We hold ourselves in great esteem here.
I'm going to go back to Flash. That's Deeker, who so Deeker's watching us on Ustream because he was having trouble watching us on Vaughn because it was showing a black screen.
Hollywood is at iBlog. Okay. Well, then maybe I will do iBlog. Thanks so much for all that.
Yeah.
We'll try that another time. It's just that we're parsed off in now 6 different directions. We are multicasting on Ustream, Vaughn, Battlecam, YouTube Live, and Facebook Live and Periscope. So amazing. Periscope is the one I have to constantly look at in order to see. And not many people are there for some reason. I don't know why. Okay. Okay, so Dano says, I'll love their chat features at iVlog. Well, maybe iVlog is our next place to go. Some things take time, you know. Days Airpiece. Rab.it. Yeah, I heard Twitch is Amazon owned, and there's a guy who's a heavy investor over there called Capital Gain. People told me that he hates me, and that's why they IP banned us. You know, all I said was, somebody said, hey, are you gay? I said, no, I'm not gay. And he said, well, that's homophobic. And I got pissed off, and they marked me up as homophobic. We're going to get them out, yeah. What's coming out? Here we go. Guest on. The guesters. Sarah wouldn't even have guest on. She had her way. Took me 2 days to get into your show, Dave. You're being heavily censored. Serial killers. I know. We're going to open up another show. We're going to try to find a place for all of you. I know. It's terrible. The EpiPen manufacturer ripped off the U.S. government for $1.27 billion. We knew this was happening. The CEO of the EpiPen company, Mylan, her annual salary went up from nearly $2 million to $17 million a year. So yeah, they took $1.27 billion. That's huge. The U.S. government may have overpaid drug maker Mylan by as much as $1.27 billion between 2006 and 2016 for its EpiPen emergency allergy treatment. The amount is nearly 3 times the proposed settlement that the company announced in October. Well, good. That's good. We'll hopefully get some of that money back from Mylan. If they don't pay, we're going to have to prosecute them for fraud and racketeering. Yeah. Everyday street objects in Bulgaria come to life with funky, googly eyes. That's special. That's some pretty interesting stuff coming from Bulgaria. Aside from hacking into credit card numbers and selling them on the open internet, Bulgarians are working on something different. That's where all the identity thieves, take all their credit card numbers to Bulgaria. They're not too happy with us. What is everybody? What is I-bombing?
Can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna.
I-bombing is putting googly eyes on objects in the public space. And the goal is simple. It's just to bring more chuckles, laughs, and smiles into the world.
When you're standing on the streets with your pockets full of eyes, then your head starts seeing faces everywhere just by simply having two googly eyes on a trash can. Then
Well, I think I've seen enough of this. Yeah. I think I-bombing is a very interesting trend, but I don't see the sci-fi aspect of it. It's just not that it's not that great. Yeah, I'm just not getting the wow, that's really neat thing. It's like, yeah, we could easily see people making funny eyes everywhere on the screen. This is I-bombing. I mean, I'm not sure if this is a big innovation. But thanks, Bulgarians. And thank you, Scissor Fight. Invisible fence sounds cool. Let me go there. I've got a couple things queued up for you. Vatican would see the U.S. Paris deal exit as slap in the face. Yeah. Oh, so what? Who cares if the Vatican is pissed off? I mean, really. I'm the guy who started getting pissed off at the Pope when he said there was no hell. I was like, who are you saying this to? You're following? Because many of the Catholics are leaving the church because of him. Okay, we're going to take a look at the invisible fence right now. We're getting into the groove. Okay, this thing is an active sound, by the way. So we're going to take a look at an invisible fence I have queued up for you here. So much for my my amazing things that I've got some pretty cool things all set for you. Here we go. Okay, here we go. This is the concept. Let me remove the $400 a month that you'll be getting as a U.S. citizen adult. The concept is to have a active denial system available for anybody to encounter whenever they run into the border. And thank you for commenting. And this is basically the technology.
The electromagnetic radiation released by the active denial system is similar to the microwaves in your microwave oven, in that it causes the water molecules in the target to become excited and heat up. But that's where the similarity ends. The ADS is designed to heat only the very surface of the skin. It does this by outputting only the carefully chosen radio wave frequency of 95 gigahertz. Even though it can easily penetrate clothing, the ADS generates a much shorter and safer wavelength of radio waves than those used in microwave ovens.
The active denial system millimeter wave directed energy beam reaches 1/64th of an inch into human skin. So that is the outermost layer of the skin, roughly equivalent to about 3 sheets of notebook paper. It is essentially affecting the pain nerves in the outermost layer of the skin, heating them up and causing an immediate repel effect.
Even these stoic servicemen, aware of what's about to happen,
engage,
can't help but flinch when they feel the heat.
This is the first time I've experienced the beam from the active denial system, and it feels like an intense warmth feeling, kind of similar to opening a very hot oven door, and it's a compelling feeling that you want to get out of the way of this beam. If you were not expecting this, it would definitely shock you and make you want to move.
The ADS represents just the latest effort to devise an effective ray weapon.
Okay, so the ray weapon essentially wouldn't be used for crowd control. It would be used for preventing people from coming over our border, and it would be motion sensors. Any type of motion, even a rodent would get this feeling. It's like ooh, ooh, ooh. It's a natural flinch thing when you get near it. Hey, I wouldn't have to resort to this if people didn't want to illegally jump fences, and they're going to try to dig under this thing too. So we'll set up an underground active denial system as well, microwaving the ground. So it'll have a pretty good depth indicator, but I can't tell you that. That's top secret. All right, Gaston. We got Gaston. It's amazing. So far, so good. Yeah. We anticipate, show proof or shut up, that this is going to cost $5 billion. I've calculated each individual sentinel that delivers the beam and receives it could be assembled like remotely in a factory and then trailered to that location, and then anchored in the ground with 5 or 6 steel anchors set in concrete. And if you've seen how these spiral anchors work, they go right into the ground, so they couldn't be knocked over or anything. No wind would knock them over. Look, if I wasn't using a microwave to heat my coffee and you weren't using one for the past 30 or 40 years like me, I'd be really, really worried about them. But there is a definite effect on the heart, and there's no doubt about it. So you're risking it getting near our border. But it's not necessarily going to kill you unless you keep walking into it, and then it'll just burn and singe your face until you're like, I can't handle it anymore. But if you get through it, you get hit by the electric maser, which is far worse. It's like frying one of those hot dogs when they hook up electrodes to it. Have you ever seen those? It's an old technology in the 70s. They skewer each end of the hot dog and they send electricity through it. Then you'd have a problem. But I don't think anybody's going to be hurt by this lethal electric system. I think it's going to be pretty safe. Kind of a humane lethal electric fence, you know. The Hybrid Capitalism book does not come signed, no. But if you want to buy it signed, I do have a copy of it. The first person to make a donation of $100 would get that. Yeah, but it has to be a real $100 donation. And by the way, there's no pages in it, too. Nobody's going to donate anything. We haven't had a donation in a long, long time. It's because people don't have any money. No, you can't have yours signed. Sarah and I signed this one. It's number 4. Well, it's actually the off print on the current run. With the first test copy we printed out had no page numbers. So we signed it, and that's actually the number 4 issue. Did I say 100? I'm sorry, because that's time-stamped offer. Only lasts about an hour. Then it goes to 1,000. You have to be a U.S. citizen to make this purchase, and you also have to present your employer's name and location, and a phone number and address to reach you. All of this information will be fully presented to the FEC, the Federal Election Commission, and we are 100% compliant, by the way. So, my auto filter is completely clogged. Every single week or week and a half, I clean out my my Brookstone ionic purifiers, air purifiers. They're amazing. They have like a radiator in them that has an anode feature which sends an electric current through it, and the filters have to be cleaned. I have to rinse them off once every 1.5 weeks because of all the chemicals and stuff in the air. Yeah, no, I won't sign anything in blood. Sorry. Yeah, it would take decades to kill immigrants, and only for people going up there to get a suntan. They would be going, oh, honey, why don't we get the suntan at the electric fence and see how it feels? I don't think it's a good idea to be at the electric fence, but it will be invisible, so people be kind of freaked out about it. And the fact that it's invisible is kind of a big deterrent in and of itself, don't you think? I mean, there'll be warning signs saying, warning, no entrada, muy mucho muerte. We'll have pictures of the Santa Muerte everywhere. Angel of Death. It'd be very, very dark, but also invisible. You'd have lasers, scanning the perimeter of the area. Yes, you may come to the border with your tortillas and hot dogs and cook them at the fence. That's a good idea. It's not a bad way to actually, cook in the event of a disaster. The invisible fence is awesome. It's my original idea. I'm a genius. And I have to clean my air filter. He's not. Kofifi is not a new battery system. You're completely out of your mind. He's trying to say that Kofifi is a battery system made of two ions of ferrous ions. Kofifi. It's iron doubled up on top of a cove. The amazing new battery system. We're not allowed to give you any access here to communication. I'm sorry, but you're in violation. Why U.S. is leaving the Paris Accord? What real Donald Trump hinting with Kofifi? He's developed an exotic new battery technology. Hey, the CIA's art department got out really, really early in the morning and started working on any type of use of the word Kofifi. I think coffee is a good thing. I think Donald should actually market a Kofifi, a trademark, now that he's so deep in the Kofifi world. Yeah. In fact, he should make a phone call to President Xi or have Ivanka do it personally and help Ivanka give President Xi what he wants, which is another visit, and go over there and try to pitch President Xi Jinping of China on a new trademark, a Kofifi, Trump Kofifi coffee. Yeah. Consigned by Donald Trump when he was tweeting the Kofifi word. Yeah, I'm sure. You're an idiot. Dude, they built that entire garbage. I'm going to ban you. They built that entire story and supportive documentation the night after Kofifi was released. Now look at the date on the site. Go to your source code on that site. You'll see it. It was posted like a day after Kofifi went viral. God, you're such an idiot. But anyway, the CIA can come up with any backstory. They could claim it's a French word or something. Yeah, the guy's an idiot. Of course it's a fake story about a battery technology. There's no such thing as a battery named Kofifi. And if there is, they're making it right now to cover Trump's ass. It's probably a giant buttock with a little tube of radiation in the middle of it. Like hemorrhoid cream. A little tube of lithium hemorrhoid cream in a giant cloud of electrons named Fifis. I'm not going to read the article. It's just BS coming out of the CIA. I'm so tired of false flaggery. I mean, this Manchester thing is a disaster. There's no proof whatsoever that anybody died. And the alleged killer who killed himself, blew himself up with some sort of a nail bomb. I don't know how you blow yourself up with a nail bomb, but I guess he did. Well, apparently there's a water-cooled 72,000 lumen LED flashlight we're going to look at in just a second. Thank you, Scissorfight. Dave, watching with my Spanish friend, and she says you're a puto. Oh, no. That is homosexual in Spanish. I'm not gay. Dude, I am not slandering Trump, and you can't slander a public official anyway. And plus, slander is like a civil offense. The most he can do is hit me with a fee or something. But he can't do it because he's a public figure. He can't sue me for slander. Plus, he's making so much money right now on his BS and lying and cheating and stealing from your tax dollars that Donald Trump is just, he's reeling in the dough. Somebody said he claims he's making $1 billion a day now off of your stupidity. And ironically, we're the ones calling him stupid. This is like a case of the last laugh, really. I think Kathy's working for Trump. I think Kathy's doing Trump's bidding. I think she's getting paid or something from Trump to put up the fake picture of the bloody head and have poor Barron go, oh, my daddy, is he okay? Daddy's not so okay. Yeah, that's not really smart. That's really sick. Putting out fake stories about yourself to make people feel sorry for you, but while you're so butthurt by the Russian involvement, you can't even think straight. He's got crap spurting out of his asshole on the golf course. That's what happened the day he fired James Comey. The Trump shat picture, shall I engage you? No, it's real. There is not one person, the technology's there to bring up an archive.org picture of April Fool's Day. There's not one single website that posted this picture on April Fool's Day like the Republicans say. This is diarrhea spurting out of somebody's butt, okay? It happens. We all have problems with our leakage on occasion. I mean, come on. Trump's human, even though he doesn't want to be. He'd probably like to be an alien and dance around on a chase white rabbits and bark at the moon. No, it's real. Everybody who says it's not, that it's fake, cannot present a single website with it on there from April Fool's Day. Show me. I'm waiting. The challenge is on, man. Show me a legitimate website where it actually says. Yeah, the day he fired James Comey, he went golfing with his friend there who was trying to sue them, and he was having a real serious lack of Depends underwear day. You didn't know that? Dude, it's not been debunked by anybody with a legitimate picture. Trump is, I think, 6'2", if I'm not mistaken. Show me a picture with it posted 4 years ago. I just challenge you. Show me. Just one single image from archive.org on a website that's real. Nobody's been able to do it. You will ask because you don't have the ability, you ass. You're trying to figure out why your president crapped in his pants the day he told the country that he was firing Comey. Not for originally the couple reasons, those are exempt now, but for the reason of stopping the Russian investigation. That was his third reason, which is a complete and utter violation of obstruction of justice. It's going down, man. It's just a matter of time before Mr. Trump resigns. And then we got little Mike Pence, which we don't even know what he's all about because we don't have any of his access to his private emails when he was the governor of Indiana. He still hasn't complied with public disclosure laws. So, Mr. Pence, you're in non-compliance. You're just like Trump. You need to go too. And you've already lied about 2 or 3 times about the Russians not being involved in your cabinet. Oh, God, you're still pushing that garbage? Tell your CIA friends we don't play your BS false information story, okay? You can make up a story about Confifi being a real battery all you want. We know the guy was completely brain dead pushing buttons. Alex Jones has been calling out Pence. What's he been saying? Exactly what kind of allegations is he saying? Because there are people that are actually... No, I was the one that called out Pence. Actually, Tory Smith was the one that called out Pence. You didn't know? Yeah, let me tell you what Tory Smith said, that Pence is responsible for killing children in Indiana. Yeah, did Alex Jones do that? No, I don't think so. Let me show you this article. We have Tory Smith. I can't bring him out because he's dead. He died after he said this. But if you haven't seen this, this will blow your mind.
Hello, my name is Tory Smith, and I've been a witness to children who were raped and murdered in what's called the MyLab child trafficking operation. And there are 40 locations nationwide, and there's one here in Indiana, state where I live, and which brings me to today's report. I do reports on this child trafficking operation, number one, because I don't know of anyone else that does. And these children need as many voices as they can possibly get, because hundreds and hundreds of children are abducted, anywhere from 25 to 400 children are gang raped and murdered a day in this system.
Wow.
On the 27th of May, Friday, 264 children were brought in from the Air Force, SOCOM, and NATO. 15 of those children were brought to Indianapolis, to the Indianapolis MyLab, which is what I would like to do today's report on. Indiana Governor, child rapist, and child murderer Mike Pence has murdered 54 children.
Okay, you just heard him say that. Mike Pence has murdered 54 children. I'm going, what? Now I'm beginning to wonder why Mike Pence hasn't presented any emails when he was governor. And we need to get to the bottom of that too, because Take a look at what happened to Torrey Smith just a couple months after he made this video.
My name is Torrey, and I want to thank you for the support and prayers and awareness that you brought to what's going on in our country about child trafficking. I think this is going to be my last video for a while.
Okay, so I'm not going to belabor the point. He died right after exposing Mike Pence, okay? Now, at first, I didn't think this guy was legit. And then when he died right after this, it began to unravel in my mind that maybe this guy got injected with the cancer. Now, this is not the first time I've heard about a technology where you can inject cancer in people, or you can even put it in their milk and they'll drink it and they'll get stomach cancer. There are live viruses that cause stomach cancer. No, I'm serious. Justice Scalia was killed. They covered that entire event up. There's evidence that there could be, in the WikiLeaks that Seth Rich presented, may have very good exposing evidence about who was behind the killing of Justice Scalia. Yeah, there are cancer, live viruses that have the cancer genes in them that can destroy your body rather quickly. Some people think, a lot of people have been killed, that they get rid of people this way. They get into their refrigerators and put it in their milk, whoever they are. I'm not making this up. This is documented evidence. There's also possibilities that scalar weaponry could be used. There's all kinds of technologies that can trigger cancer. The director of the World Health Organization has said that cell phones are directly contributing to brain cancer, and nobody in our government wants to make this a public service announcement. Isn't that bizarre? Okay, conservative activist James O'Keefe has been hit with a $1 million federal lawsuit over his organization's video operation against Democrats before the 2016 election. Wow. Project Veritas released secret recorded videos suggesting Democrats were involved in inciting violence at Trump rallies in October. Creamer and Scott Fogel, who was also seen in the video sting, left their jobs due to the uncovered videos. They say they're on the right side of the law. We will not be intimidated. Well, the Democrats are under fire because this whole thing with Seth Rich has been a cover-up. They tried to get a hold of Seth Rich's computer. Wasserman Schultz, the previous chairman of the Democratic National Committee, tried to get a hold of Seth Rich's computer after he was killed. That's an interesting little thing. There's no evidence of battery technology. Kofifi it's a cover story for Trump's stupidity. Yeah. The CIA constructed a battery system and they made a website. That's what they've been doing the past couple days. This is not new technology. There's all kinds of new technologies. There's zinc oxide battery cells. We don't have to talk about Kofifi, okay? You talk to Gregory Taylor, and you know the whole gambit now. Okay? I don't know. I don't know if Alex Jones was poisoned. I doubt it. But yeah, if you're not fully aware of what's going on in your refrigerator, you got to be, ultra careful. Yeah, they made a battery just to cover his Kofifi mark. Yeah. It's obvious.
Cops are cracking
down. They even build websites to fake information. They've been doing it for a long, long time. The CIA has been changing and altering the news for decades. Since the 70s it was released. I wasn't wishing cancer on anyone. No. I told you that GMOs equal cancer death. That's not wishing cancer on you. I was actually trying to help you, believe it or not. And you just didn't understand that. Many people don't realize that Dr. Seralini's study is legit, that these rats did come down with cancer all over the place. Monsanto tested rats
Cops
that were
cracking down on distracted
only for 0 to 3 months, and this guy, Dr. Seralini in Italy, measured from 3 months to 24 months, and most of these things created cancer in their bodies. We don't talk about Al Franken here. He's irrelevant until he can. Let's see, he's going to charge Jeff Sessions with a crime of perjury. Al Franken is a joke, but not a funny joke, just a joke. I'm just trying to make you aware that GMOs are linked to killing people, that their cancer rate is going to increase because of GMOs in our diet. Nobody seems to care. I'm fine with him not signing the Paris Accord because they're not even taking into account chemtrails. If they start talking about chemtrails in the Paris Accord, I would love to hear that story. I'm not a comedian, dude. There's nothing funny about me. If it's from a 2012 trip to Scotland where he shat in his pants, I want to see the link. Show me the link. And I'll stop talking about him shatting in his pants, okay? Oh, well, Putin can stick it up his you-know-what. Thank you. Look, I want to open a discussion with Russia, but it can't be on the problem that they have been run into with managing our election. Al Franken didn't kill anybody. Now, Putin is basically a person who's very rich. He has $200 billion, they say. He's a rich capitalist pretending to be a communist in his own country. He's a laugh. He's a joke. And as soon as Russia realizes this man is making money in this position, all the Russian people are going to be a little bit pissed off about him too. Hey, but it's open season now. We have already influenced their elections in the past. They obviously influenced this election to put this buffoon in the presidency. We are going to remove anybody who suggests anything about young children here. That's a no. You cannot talk about. If you want to talk about Pizzagate, talk about Pizzagate. Don't talk about your fantasies. So Hillary has said she's not running for president again?
Total. And all of 2016.
Over like 2 years? Or
well, over, what, 18 months? Yeah. That was it.
So
total.
Does that signify that you need to think about campaign? Not you in particular. Are you running again, by the way?
No.
Okay.
No, but...
All right, but you need to campaign.
She's not running. I don't think she has the ability to communicate for very long without having a glass of water.
Thank you for being here and doing this, and thanks to everybody who supports Women for Women International. I look out at this audience and I see some longtime friends who have been in the trenches on behalf of women's issues, women's rights and opportunities around the world. And your question's especially important for this organization because historically, Women for Women International has worked in some of the most difficult places in the world. Conflict zones, post-conflict zones, places where violence, particularly violence against women and children.
I don't want to listen to Hillary Clinton. Yeah, thank you. Did I see what, like 581? Okay, let's check. Okay. That's fake. Crom diarrhea picture. Okay, hang on. I can't believe I'm having to do this, but whatever. Hey, if it really is fake and you can prove it, I'd love to see it. Okay. It's basically an article claiming that there's another picture taken. Did Trump really have diarrhea during golf game? A photo spreading, a photo that appears in the aftermath. Trump had diarrhea during golf game. Trump had a little accident today. The image has been digitally manipulated. No. Okay, it'll go to this one. Okay, let's see. PGA Tour. Okay, well, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, you're showing a picture of the same picture that's been digitally augmented. All right, I see your point. All right, well, then I take it back. Gosh, I'm really sorry for mentioning his diarrhea problem that didn't happen. But could we stay on topic here? Yeah, because if this is a real legitimate picture dating back to June 1st, 2016, that's great. Because what I heard was this was an April Fool's joke from April Fool's Day. And I've never seen this particular Business Insider. So I'm going to have to vet this to see if this wasn't augmented by the CIA. We'll see if there's any changes in its architecture at archive.org. I'll have to do a cross-check on that to go to archive.org to see if that site does exist, if that page does exist. No, I'm beginning to believe that it's still fake. Yeah, the whole Kofifi, that's all BS. In fact, that picture could have been put in there. Well, I haven't fully apologized until I vet the picture, okay? Thanks. Don't talk about my mother here. Thanks. Did I bring up your mother? Okay, MSNBC's got some stories that they were pushing a few minutes ago.
A new Politico Morning Consult poll shows support for impeachment of the president is ticking up 5 points, 43% for, 45% against. But Steve Kornacki also has polling that shows the president's approval rating on the rise. Steve, tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because on the one hand, I think that the impeachment numbers there tell you a lot about the intensity of the opposition to him. It's not just that Democrats especially are against him, it's that they're really, really against him and in that polarization. But the other thing that's notable is, last week we had a lot of stories about Trump's approval rating falling back into the 30s, and we were asking the question, is this sort of the new norm for him? Is it going to get lower? Are there going to be Republican defections? But you see, it did tick up again. Gallup keeps the daily...
Okay, so his approval rating is down to 37% at May 21st, and it went up to 41% May 30th. Yeah, that's right when, this is a false statistic because it was right when this comedian, put out that picture of the bloody head, which I think Trump put her up to doing, personally. Five things you're missing while the internet obsesses with Kofifi and Kathy Griffin. This is 5 things from the Daily Sheeple. 16 trackers have been blocked. Between last week's bombing in Manchester, the patriotic 3-day weekend in the United States, Kathy Griffin mocks beheading President Trump on Tuesday, and the president's recent Kofifi tweet. But as the mainstream media and left-wing faction of the country obsesses over what Kofifi means, the right-wing snowflakes clutch their pearls of Griffin's politically incorrect, at Griffin's politically incorrect, if not ill-advised and distasteful stunt, stories that actually affect the American people are falling through the cracks. This is not to say the corporate media apparatus has not covered any of the stories we're about to detail. Well, talking about somebody crapping their pants is more of an allegory or a metaphor. So Trump really is metaphorically crapping in his pants. How's that? All right, great. This is not to say the corporate media apparatus has not covered any of the stories we're about to detail. It is to say that they've replaced their outrage and focus on superficial, topical stories that do little to speak truth to power and expose the machinations of openly corrupt ruling institutions. Here are 5 ongoing stories that you should receive the same feeding frenzy as Kofifi and Kathy Griffin. Human Rights Watch issues urgent warning over new Back the Blue law in Congress. Last week, the Human Rights Organization penned a letter to Senator Chuck Grassley and Dianne Feinstein condemning the pro-law enforcement legislation, which is currently making its way through the House and Senate. Human Rights Watch says H.R. 2437 and SB 1134 amend civil rights laws to severely limit private citizens' ability to hold police accountable for their violations of the law. It also removes incentives for officers to refrain from abusive behavior against citizens. It imposes mandatory minimum sentences for those convicted of causing bodily injury to officers. Basically defined to include injuries as minimal as a cut, an abrasion. I mean, you could get seriously put in jail over an abrasion on a cop. Okay, this is really interesting. That was number 1. 2, a suicide bombing killed 90, injured 400 in Afghanistan. A terrorist attack in Kabul, Afghanistan on Wednesday, believed to be one of the worst in the country's history, is being drowned out by the media's incessant focus on Kofifi and fake bloody head. A terror group, the Taliban, is denying responsibility for the attack, making it possible the Islamic State, another terror group empowered by the U.S. policy, may take credit in the next few days. So we're killing people and then talking about Kofifi. Yes, Anderson Cooper was an intern at the CIA when he was in high school. Number 3, U.S. considers trillion-dollar military budget. Though the U.S. strategy of perpetual war has failed to quell terrorism or create stability in the Middle East, Antiwar.com reported this week that the Trump administration's 2018 budget proposal seeks to allocate over $1 trillion toward military spending. It's shocking just how much money is disappearing not just into the general war fighting budget, but into related costs of having such a massive military for so long. Over $183 billion would go toward veterans affairs amid the ongoing crisis veterans face in the U.S. Still, if the United States government stopped waging so many wars and creating so many veterans, that figure would not be necessary. Number 4, the warfare state has come home to roost, according to documents detailing counterterrorism strategies used at Standing Rock. Over the holiday weekend, this Intercept reportedly, according to leaked documents, law enforcement worked with private defense contractor Tiger Swan to impose counterterrorism tactics on protesters at the site of the Dakota Access Pipeline. According to the Intercept, they were hired by Energy Transfer Partners, the company behind the project. Internal Tiger Swan communications described the movement as an ideologically driven insurgency with a strong religious component. And compare the anti-pipeline water protectors to the jihadist fighters, comparing them to the jihadist fighters. I mean, this is amazing. Thank you, Daily Sheeple. And number 5, opposition to Trump's $110 billion arms deal with Saudi Arabia grows in Congress. They don't want you to know that. Lawmakers Representative Justin Amash and Senator Rand Paul have crafted legislation to nullify the president's recent deal with the extremist Saudi regime, which received widespread coverage when Trump visited the Arab nation. Sword dancing with the monarchs and touching a glowing orb. Wow, this is really good. When you get a mobile home and you're living in it, you're using it, if I were to sell my asset, it would be a capital gain. But since I haven't sold my asset, it's not a capital gain until I sell it. That's the technical reason why it's not in any way listed as a capital gain until I sell it. Since I live in it, it's different. But thank you for asking. List of Russian people by net worth. See, I don't believe this list is just not accurate. Vladimir Putin is reportedly receiving billions of dollars. And Vladimir Putin doesn't want anyone to know that. He's running for re-election in 2018, claiming he has a $200,000 a year salary and lives in an apartment in Moscow. No one takes this guy seriously anymore. He was installed by Boris Yeltsin, and his days of bureaucratic ownership of the Russian nation are going to be coming to an end eventually. What really pisses me off is that Russia has invaded our personal rights to have who we want as our president. By controlling the election, they have altered the course of history in America. And there's got to be a crime here that somebody's going to have to be paying for in the Trump administration. Whether we accuse Russia of doing anything at this point is almost irrelevant. I mean, we meddled in their affairs when the Soviet Union broke up. The first cognitive dissonance dance party, Daybreaker.
The idea that AI can actually enhance a dance party is pretty magical.
Cool.
Welcome to the world's first cognitive dance party. With Watson, we're doing something we could never have done before.
For the first time ever, we're powering the Daybreaker experience with a person.
Mad Dog's recipe? Not sure where it is. Are you still trying to make me make catfish? It's $9.99 a pound here, man. Oh, it's shrimp and grits. Oh, okay. Where is it? Yeah, Putin lives in a 300 square foot apartment basement, a studio apartment. Right. Yeah, sure. I believe that not. Listen, I'm not going to talk about Putin's hidden wealth because it's almost irrelevant in this conversation. But I can tell you America is not going to sit back and watch Trump stick it in our butt. He's all about his cronies in Washington. He's all about the swamp that he says he was going to empty. He just reversed 17 cases he gave passes on people who are lobbyists that can now work for his agency. Yeah, the government is now allowing 17 lobbyists. Check this story out, the Washington Post. Ethics waiver violation. And they're saying what Trump is doing is completely illegal. He sets an executive order saying he doesn't hire lobbyists, then he gives 17 of them waivers to come into his administration. Can you believe this? The audacity of this guy? The White House disclosed Wednesday that it was granted ethics waivers of 17 appointees who worked for Trump and Vice President Pence, including 4 former lobbyists. The waivers exempt the appointments from certain portions of ethics rules aimed at barring potential conflicts of interest. This guy is all about padding his pocket and everybody in his administration's pocket. No, this is serious. And if you think the Washington Post is fake news, you're a real ultra-right, alt-right freakazoid. You probably don't even think the Holocaust was real. You probably call it a hollow hoax to your family. Oh, here comes Uncle Joe with his hollow hoax story. Could he just shut up at the name? I mean, really, he denies the Holocaust is happening. Pence is going to have to show his emails when he was on a private server as an Indiana governor. Otherwise, we're going to assume he was a pedophile at this point. Yeah, until we see public disclosure and lack of conflict of interest, Trump and his entire regime of Russian cronies and traitors have got to be impeached. No, BuzzFeed is still legitimate. Washington Post is still legitimate. There's no ruling in a BuzzFeed law case. If you want to talk about Gawker being fake news, they're facing a massive lawsuit against Hulk Hogan right now. I don't even think Gawker is going to make a comeback. I mean, seriously. If Pence is part of Pizzagate, we need to know that. Seriously. I don't contradict myself at all. That's absurd. Everything I say is locked into a very clear vision of what this country is like right now and how we need to move in a different direction. Dude, I led this story on the Russian involvement in Trump's cabinet. God, you're so behind the entire scope of what I'm doing. I'm not part of the deep state. I led the story on this. Okay, the deep state is keeping me at bay because I'm like the attack dog waiting to enter the arena to start ripping shreds out of the corruption in Washington, D.C. To start ripping shreds out. That's what I am. And I'll tell you something, this is what's really disturbing is you're accusing me of following them. They're following me, and I am being censored in my own country. I've been leading these stories, and you're totally clueless. You have no idea what I'm doing here, do you? Hey, here you go. Shrimp with grits. We've got some grits, yeah. Tomato pie, collard greens, yeah. Chef's extra, home-cooked collard greens, peach cobbler. Okay, where's the grits and the shrimp? The swamp, I am the antithesis of the swamp. I'm not materialistic at all. These people who are nesting in the White House, a coven of whatever they are, greedmongers, they're the ones that are profiting everywhere they turn on your tax money. And you're sitting here calling me the swamp. You must be out of your mind. I'm not Ashkenazi. Trump's surrounded by Ashkenazis. Yeah. Yeah, I can't eat grits because they're made out of corn, GMO corn, man. Yeah, I'm sorry, but well, let me tell you, Pilgrim, the grits today are GMO, and I'm not going to have them. Get a grip and stop talking about confifi, okay? That's a non-starter anymore in this show. We can't talk about confifi. So end the confifi discussion. Thank you. And no, there's no battery called confifi. That's a fake story. We're going to drown California with our climate change. Well, the northern part will have a break in one of the dams. They're planning on that. Who are you trying to sound like? I'm not trying to sound like anybody. I'm an original person. I have my own voice. And someday I'll be able to show you how nice my voice is, but this crappy noise-canceling mic on this camera is all I've got. So I don't try to sound like anybody except who I impersonate. What's wrong with you? That's what I'd like to know. Okay. 3 times a lady. New House of Cards features mock human sacrifice at Bohemian Grove. Are you serious? Sarah and I were going to get into this show. Why is this thing moving? Oh, they're forcing me to get on Facebook over here? Well, I'm on Facebook over there. Zykes on Ustream. Live chat on YouTube. Nobody's there. And I think we've got... Yes. Periscope TV. But nobody's saying anything. No, I don't live on a fault. I live on 3 faults. They're all converged right here. No, I don't impersonate Sarah. That's absurd. No, that's a ridiculous request. I'm sorry. Hey, it's not my fault I live on a fault. Okay, well, let's see what this is all about, because this is really disturbing. I'm going to be watching House of Cards, and it's some sort of an Illuminati programming show now. Now I'm beginning to think I should go to my first cognitive dance party.
Personalities of the attendees. Watson is analyzing the Twitter feeds and survey answers of attendees to personalize their party flows. With Watson, attendees are getting workouts tailored to them. Food customized to their taste. The dance floor is being powered by the collective social sentiment of the community. Even the final performance is cognitive. Watson is also analyzing tweets in real time so people can see the sun rising with the mood of the world. Daybreaker is about unity and bringing people together. With Watson, we're able to do this better than ever before. Who would have thought we'd use Watson to inspire a dance party?
Well, I'm not really sure what that's about, but IBM's got Watson inspiring dance parties, and I'm a little back in terms of what I have to do here. Okay, here's a small little water-cooled 72,000 lumen LED flashlight.
Water-cooled LED flashlight, producing about 72,000 lumens of light. It's made from 8 individual 100-watt LED chips connected in parallel, producing 9,000 lumens each. The cooling system is from cheap eBay computer water cooling components. Water is pumped from the reservoir through the 2 aluminum water cooling blocks that cool the LEDs. That heated water then goes through the small heat exchanger and then back into the reservoir.
Wow.
Here's how I made it. I applied some thermal paste to the bottom of all the LEDs and spread it into a thin film.
Well, we'll learn all about that later. Yeah, make your own water-cooled 72,000 lumen LED flashlight. That sounds exciting, doesn't it? You're welcome. Thank you. That is computer automation putting DJs out of work. That's a good point, Chatroom Celebrity. Don't you realize a lot of jobs will be replaced? Even doctors will be a thing of the past eventually. Robots will be taking care of surgery and everything. Yeah. We won't need to work. Our biggest problem is taking the rich people with all their money, as Bernie likes to say, the rich people. Well, taking the rich people and telling them they're going to have to be taxed pretty hard because they are sucking money out of your dollars every time they print up money to run this stupid country's budget. Our country is literally running on borrowed money, and the rich people are not being taxed enough. You're not rich enough to have cash. You're a person like Trump who lives on credit. He hardly has any liquid assets whatsoever. The guy's completely borrowed to the hilt. Meow. Dude, I'm the one who led this story about everything. I'm the one who's leading the news from this location here on the internet. You don't realize it, but most of the things that I generate on our show, even the theory that Kathy Griffin was paid by Trump to put the head out there, that's going to be a story in about 2 or 3 weeks. No, I'm leading on a lot of this because I'm fully aware of how this Trump guy works. He'll put an entire story maligning himself so that you'll feel sorry for him. Oh, poor Trump. Oh, it's just so sad. Oh, that's why his approval rating went up 3 or 4 points, because they saw the bloody head. I don't have hillbilly teeth pictures. I have this picture right here, which I took when I was, I did the show for 3 years without the press-on veneers. And by the way, this technology is really saving a lot of people a lot of emotional discomfort. When they have a smile, they can now smile. You know, when I smile normally, without these press-on veneers in, it's difficult because my teeth are yellow. You know, they're not exactly crystal clear and sprite. And I lost some enamel during my early days when I was on tetracycline as a kid. They used to overdose kids on tetracycline, and what I had was too much. And because I had, you know, illnesses that needed tetracycline, I ended up losing some of my enamel. So they said, well, do you want to do a right? Do you want to do a photograph, or do you want to have? I guess they use peroxide on your teeth to get them really bright. It won't last that long because obviously, yeah. Here's a picture of me smiling with my old teeth. I still have these teeth. That's almost 8 years ago. That was taken. But you can see that they look a little bit better than these teeth, right? No, I didn't have polio. I was a very sick baby, though. Well, the veneers are okay if you got something to grab on, like 1 or 2 teeth. You can anchor them. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, 8 years and I'm still an ugly bitch. I'm not a bitch, dude. You call men a bitch? Do you want to get bitch slapped? And I'm not a person that would ever hit a woman. Can you even notice when you put in the press-on veneers? Yes. I don't eat endless soup at takeout. No, soup is very salty. You look better without the veneer look? Really? Okay, let me check it out. Hang on. It's kind of weird because I feel a little bit self-conscious that I don't have a decent smile. So this is better for me. Two dykes wanted to fight you? Well, I'm not a dyke. Dude, what's your problem? I have gone to a Denny's and had an endless salad, but not a soup. No. No. Back in the day, Denny's offered an endless salad, and because I'm a big salad eater, it was a perfect match. I called you a dyke, dude. Yeah, I think you misinterpreted me. I called you a dyke, dude. I don't think it looks like a massive override at all. I think it fits perfectly with my mouth. I think you're a complete imbecile. No, I don't eat endless soup, only salad. And I don't do it often, only when I, take trips and happen to be at a Denny's. But they don't do that anymore. They stopped that deal. They don't have they have endless pancakes though, I think. Sarah got into that for a while. We're staying away from GMO carbs, she and I. Well, it's designed to give you the shit. Salad is full of roughage. It's probiotic. I mean, what's your problem, man? Hey, I told you the truth. I did get an endless salad, but I don't eat endless soup. That's just gross. It's like, ugh. Who wants endless soup? Dude, I called you a dyke, all right? Deal with it. Let's go look at the new house of cards here. All right. It features a mock human sacrifice. It's very dark. Yep, here it is. Good seeing you too, Clabberdacky Ducky. Cadaberdally Ducker Rucker. Yeah, it's the new House of Cards series. I don't know if it's in the one I'm going to see because they just released last year. So, but the new House of Cards features a mock human sacrifice at the Bohemian Grove-like retreat. Cremation of Care, ritual depicted in popular fictional political news series InfoWars, and the latest season of Netflix drama House of Cards has it. So hopefully we won't see that in our current version. But even the female lead in House of Cards said that Trump is copying their entire show. Great. The guests have been very nice. Not too many chat hates, no troll attacks. We've been very lucky tonight. When that happens, I have to do guest off, just to maintain. Well, as you know, we are trying to migrate to another show and create 2 dueling chat rooms. And we're going to try a couple of different options out as we move forward. But that picture was taken, 8 years ago? Well, I liked House of Cards. I think Kevin Spacey's a really good actor. I don't mind the fact that he's gay. I mean, I'm kind of amazed that there's some sort of a threesome going on in the House of Cards storyline. I thought that was kind of weird. Don't you think that Trump is doing the job when Hollywood calls out? No, they're making fun of him. She was kidding. She was joking. She's making fun of Trump. Everybody's making fun of Trump. Robin is complaining about the lack of pay equity. She's not the only one. You know, the woman who played Miss Secretary, Madam Secretary, Tia Leone.
Mm-hmm.
Madam Secretary Tia Leone asked for a raise and didn't get it. She also wanted total control over, simply put, she wanted total control over who they hire. I think she's great. I think she's a fantastic actress. Okay, apparently they gave her what she wanted because she's still on as Madam Secretary. Yeah, the woman I'm referring to is Tia Leone. She played in The Family Man. Really good actress. Yeah, and whoops, I don't think we should. I don't even think they could do her role without her. It would be impossible. Dude, I'm not worried about anything right now. I'm not in this for personal gain, so I'm not in any way upset by the fact that, you know, donations aren't pouring in. I'm okay with the fact that we're even getting world viewership. I'm very happy about that. All right, so Tia Leone is definitely a good actress. Good evening, Jeff. I don't know about Hollywood Showers now. We have world viewership on UHF and UHF Plus. 1712, you're not aware that I'm being censored on Vaughn. You don't understand what's happening. You know, that's a sick thing to say in this chat room, and I'm going to mute you. No, I'm not. We've got a tremendous viewership around the world. It's really kind of nice. Okay, let's do a round robin of what we've got so far. We're looking at our Periscope feed, and so far no one says anything there, so hold on. All right, we should be good now. Yeah, I have no history of criminality. You can check me out. I think it's like $39 to do a criminal background check, but you can check it out. I'm clean. Yeah, thank you. I'm not a felon, no. These people are coming up with all kinds of attempts to stop me. Okay, you got the electric car versus a Ferrari. Wow, that's kind of cool. Let's check that out. There it is. Well, that's not a good sign when a video doesn't play. It must be the Epic browser.
Does this electric car dare compete with this gasoline-fed Ferrari 360 Modena and this Porsche Carrera GT? Yes. The place, Infineon Raceway's quarter-mile track. Ian Wright is confident his Wrightspeed X1 car has the right stuff against and against well, maybe, but Ian believes the average car buyer just doesn't fully appreciate the advantages of an electric car.
If you measure the energy required to drive a mile and compare that with the energy used by a Prius, it's about 3 times better.
Batteries, Ian acknowledges, are expensive, need external charging, and have a driving range of only 150 miles for the X1. But for a select group of buyers, these disadvantages are offset by slick styling and performance.
I've chosen to optimize the car for performance and sell it into the performance market. Technology will get a lot cheaper, of course, with time and with practice and with volume, and it will trickle down to much less expensive cars. This is a proof of concept vehicle, not a production car.
From proof of concept, it's now time for proof of performance. First up, the Ferrari, 3,000 pounds and costing $170,000, compared with 1,500 pounds and $150,000 for the X1. Next up, the Porsche, 3,200 pounds and costing $400,000. So, with a top time of 112 miles an hour in 11.1 seconds, Ian's X1 seems to have the right stuff. I'm Will Norby, Prawn 4 News.
We'll do it live. Screw it, we'll do it live. So that worked out really well. The electric car is by far the fastest. It's amazing. So now people who are looking for a value might want to go for an electric car if they want that performance that everyone seems to want with vehicles. I like gas mileage. I love hybrids. I think they get great gas mileage. I'm glad that over the years we've been saving a lot of money on our hybrid. I still think hybrid technology is better because it is, you don't get that range anxiety with an electric car. Okay, there's got to be some way we'll be able to promote this too. I'll look into that. Here's our Periscope link if you guys want to check us out ever. Okay, so the Vatican would have wanted Donald Trump to sign the deals with Paris, the Paris deal, but it's a slap in the face, according to an official at the Vatican. I don't really think that Donald should have even met the Vatican. I mean, he's said bad things about the Pope before. I have too. I'm not the first person. Oh, and that's that story I have to bookmark for over here. A water-cooled 72,000 lumen LED flashlight. And we have a George Carlin article or video that we'll play later tonight too on political correctness. It's fascism, he says, and I agree. George Carlin was an icon of many people who are independent views, who have independent views. You know, I don't like about Epic is they don't have a history file. I can't even pull back what I just got rid of.
Right.
It's amazing. But luckily I had copied it. It's also in miscellaneous. Okay, good. I'm trying to figure out how to activate the history function on here because I went to the utility board, the side. I went to tools. That's developer tools they have, but settings. Usually that's where you see it, and I went to history. I'm looking at the Epic browser. We're using the Epic browser to screen any potential malware that comes in because they say that's where a lot of the corruption and all the attacks are happening. And it's a pretty cool thing, but then I go to history This is no history found.
He said check out a web browser called Brave.com.
Rave.com? B-R-A-B. Okay.
Brave.
Okay, here we go. Brave.com. Wow.
Oh, you're up.
Okay, so it says faster and safer with Brave. Really? Start supporting publishers today with our new Brave payment system.
That's like PayPal.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if we're going to be getting all kinds of pop-up screens and things selling me things, you know. Sounds good. I'll check it out. Thank you. Brave.com. But apparently we found out that it's the browser that is sucking in all this history and these tracking devices every time you go to a website, and it's just sucked into our memory. And one of the ways we can stop the malware attacks is to clear the history file of every one of our browsers. Well, then we got Epic, and we haven't had a history file, so it's a good thing, actually. We just have to paste everything into Google, regular Google Chrome, because Epic is like Chrome on steroids with all kinds of safeguards. Amazon has a GeForce Pentium 2 for $156. Yeah. I'm thinking very seriously about that. I heard it comes bundled with a 6 gigabyte. The 1050 does. They told me at Best Buy they have a 6 gigabyte version of this. And this video card would make a very good gaming computer. $156. I'm looking at one right now that's water cooled. It's pretty cool. It's from Italy. It's a 1050 from Italy. I'm bidding on it.
Jeff says it only uses 75 watts power from a PCI slot.
That's pretty good. That's very efficient, Jeff. That's probably the best thing we could get, what you're recommending there. Your browser has a big button going to your X video site. Is that a site that you use for your X videos? Is that one of those search sites you're using? Salty Dive? Okay, you're going to get one too? Wow. Well, these water-cooled systems don't leak water. You're going to get rid of the X videos? Yeah. Why? Is it a bad site? NVIDIA's new chipset is incredible. Yeah, Jeff, I wish we could convince Misanthropy of that. So you're saying Misanthropy says that this was made by the former CEO of Firefox. He raised $35 million for it the other day in 30 seconds? Really?
The Brave.com is what he's talking about.
Yeah, to make $35 million in a few seconds, raising it on a idea of creating a website browser is bizarre. I mean, I can't even imagine anybody being able to raise $35 million when we can't even get a $5 donation. It's pretty funny. $35 million in 35 seconds. That's hard to believe. Apparently, a lot of people are playing Fallout.
Thanks, printer. Yes.
Yep. Yeah, sock printer. Thanks. That's the Sponheim Castle. Okay, I'm going to take a break, have some dinner. Sarah's going to give you a little trivia. I'll be back. Thank you.
Here, you can take this.
Okay. Thank you. Did you have any dinner? Not really?
Yes, I did. I had a few scoops.
Okay, good.
Of your dinner that you made for the show, and it was actually really good.
Good.
Yeah, take a bio break. It's all good. Yeah, I haven't really gotten into gaming. Maybe I'll do some gaming this summer. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll learn some Python this summer. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll do some sleeping this summer. Definitely will. Yeah. David hates about hearing people raise tons of money. So, but good to hear, Misanthropy. Hi, Jeff. The new Far Cry 5's coming out. Yeah, I won't be skydiving this summer. David would really, be against that. Maybe someday I'll do skydiving, but David would not want me to skydive. No, I didn't, dog. I'm going to go do that later to wash it all off. Netflix leaving the battle for net neutrality shows why we need net neutrality. Ah, interesting. You take off on a windy day? Trivia is good. You want me to do some trivia tonight? Sorry, Patrick. It's because David has such an awesome booming voice. So I will work on that. Yes, trivia. Let's drive Salty out. I'm not a really big fan of Salty. Yes, I can.
Okay, so for starters, we've discussed some before, the weird ritualistic dances.
Alright, let me just add them all. Oh, that's why he's put some over here, is because he's signed in to Google over here. Alright, today is, what's today? Does it even matter? Today's Thursday. So our trivia topic will be on medicine. What is a poisonous chemical substance found in the tobacco plant? I think I already did these ones. Correct, Misanthropy and Moonwalker. What is a hereditary disease in which the muscles progressively waste away? It can be potentially treated through gene therapy. You guys are on the right track. Muscular or something. Flicktail has it right. Muscular dystrophy.
Okay, so for starters, we've discussed.
All right, what is an acute and contagious disease marked by fever and inflammation of the salivary glands? It's caused by a virus, and it's normally a childhood disease that passes with no after effects. A child who has it is immune from further infections of it. Correct, Tickle Me and Moonwalker and Flickdale. It is mumps. Oh, Officer Mo. Okay. Okay, Mo. Either way. Mo. What is a chronic disease of the central nervous system characterized by the hardening of patches of tissue in the brain and spinal cord? The cause of the disease has to do with damage to the sheaths of nerves, and there's no specific treatment. It occurs in varying degrees of severity, and in the worst case can result in permanent paralysis. Sac Printer is correct. Multiple sclerosis. Okay, what is a slippery and somewhat sticky fluid secreted by the glands in a certain membrane, and it lubricates and protects those membranes. Correct, Misanthropy. Good job, Jeff Boston. Enjoy email land. I know you have to do it. Correct, Moonwalker. Mucus. My least favorite thing. I hate especially all the S words that actually are related to mucus. I know. And that one too. I hate phlegm too. I don't like mucus. I know they say it's good because it's like the white blood cells and all that, but it's just hard to sell me on that. All right. I'm gonna skip over mucous membrane. Your sinuses are messed up? Oh, I'm so sorry. It's hard this time of year with the sinuses. What is an addictive drug derived from opium that has been used as an analgesic and a sedative? Correct, Flicktail. Oh. Your sinuses are, just damaged in general. Sorry. Yes, it was morphine. Morphine. What is an acute and infectious disease caused by a virus whose symptoms include fever, swelling of the lymph nodes, and general exhaustion? It gets its name from the kind of white blood cell, a monocyte, that increases in number in the blood of persons who have the disease. There's no specific treatment, but sufferers usually recover within a few weeks. It's sometimes called the... Correct, Jeff Boston. Correct, Misanthropy. Correct. It's sometimes called the kissing disease because at one time the virus was thought to be transmitted by kissing. The virus can be found in the saliva of those who have the disease, so there may be some truth in the belief that it can be transmitted by kissing. And the answer was mononucleosis. And you had it for months? Man, I'm sorry. Okay. What are the teeth with broad surfaces at the back of the mouth that serve to grind food? They include the wisdom teeth, and adults have 12 of them. Correct, Misanthropy. Correct, Flicktail. Correct, Sack Printer. They are the molars. Adults have 6 on the top and 6 on the bottom. Yes, I am in a general good mood. Other teeth are incisors and canines. What is a spontaneous and premature expulsion of an embryo or fetus from the uterus before it is capable of surviving on its own? Generally, it is failure to achieve a desired end and Correct, Misanthropy. Correct, Flicktail. Oh, I'm sorry, Bingo. The answer before you hear the start of the question. That's not good. So it is a miscarriage. Also, in lingo, miscarriage can be a failure to achieve a desired end, as in a miscarriage in justice. I'm not going to do that abnormal. Prolapse, maybe? In the diet, what are certain substances that are necessary for the maintenance of life and good health? Some of them are essential components of bodily substances and include calcium in bones, iron and hemoglobin. Others regulate the activities of metabolism. Oh, darn. Thanks, Jake. I think I didn't read all of these. All right. No, he's not breaking things. He's just cleaning the dishes. All right, I'm going to say that one again. Certain substances that are necessary for the maintenance of life and good health and essential for bodily substances. Examples include calcium in bones. Correct, misanthropy. Substances also include iron, or an example is iron in hemoglobin. Correct, Flicktail. Minerals is what I was going for, minerals. All right, who is a person who serves as an attendant at childbirth but is not a physician? Some of these are called, are trained in university programs, which usually require previous education in nursing. Others learn their skills through apprenticeship. Correct, Printer. Correct, Mad Dog. Midwife. What is a part of the ear on the inside of the eardrum? It contains 3 small bones that transmit sound waves to the inner ear from the eardrum. That was a good guess, Deeker. Prenatal technician, huh? Keep going. The meniscus, I think, is one of the bones. So I'll just say this. Another day, I think we did the outer ear. We were talking about the outer ear. And then it goes to this, and then it goes to the inner ear. Exactly, misanthropy. Nice job. I know. I'm sorry. It kind of is a crappy answer. Like, seriously? That was it? Middle ear? What? But yes, it was middle ear. All right. What is an analgesic that is sometimes used in the treatment of drug addiction? Correct, Printer. Correct, Flicktail, is methadone. You think, whatever it is, there's a lot of people on bond that are probably on it. Yeah, methadone. What is a periodic discharge of the blood-enriched lining of the uterus through the vagina? It marks the end of one cycle and the beginning of another. Correct, Misanthropy. Okay, Flicktail, I'll give that to you too. Correct, Printer. Yes. The menstrual cycle, menstruation. Oh, menstrual cycle is a little different. The periodic changes in the female reproductive system associated with the preparation of the uterus for pregnancy. The cycle is repeated roughly every 28 days. Whatever, I'm not going to go into details there. All right, what is a period in a woman's life when her cycles stop? It typically occurs between the ages of 45 and 55. Oh, 5 more years. Correct, Printer. Correct, Misanthropy. Oh. Correct, Sabre. Sacred menstruation. Reclaiming our wise blood. Well, I guess I'll have to actually look at this. Thefountainoflife.org. Claiming. Wow. Menstrual blood used to be the most sacred substance on earth, and now science is discovering its incredible healing powers. Wow.
Good to know.
A drink of immortality made from menstrual blood.
That's pretty bizarre. Who brought that link to our attention?
Misanthropy.
Wow.
Well, because I was talking about menstruation. Because I was doing a little
discussion about that stuff.
No, I was doing top medical trivia.
Oh, okay, great. You know, this is a good transition to spirit cooking and the whole idea that is being...
Yeah, they shouldn't cook spirits. They should just use menstrual blood because it's all out there.
This is so disgusting. I can't believe I'm actually hearing what I'm saying, what you're saying. It's like... Am I in a parallel universe or something?
I do believe menstrual blood could be full of healing stem cells that actually activate our cellular capacity to regenerate and transport us to...
You know, as long as it's not endorsing blood drinking rituals, I'm fine with it. Like, dehydrate it, put it in a pill. I don't know. I mean, there's got to be another way we can discuss it. Because so many things are pointing to this blood drinking ritualism, like even the House of Cards has references to the cremation of care ceremonies that goes on in the Bohemian Grove.
The whole Last Supper was all, this is my blood, drink from me.
Oh,
I mean, was Jesus a woman?
Yeah.
And was that menstrual blood?
Wow, you're raising some very strange subjects here.
Heretic.
What about the Da Vinci Code? Are we going to go on that tangent? Is there truth to it? Hey, let's take technology to the next level. I'm going to add guest chat.
Okay, and I'm going to leave, and then I'll talk about how weird I am.
No, it's an interesting topic. You're not weird.
I just pose questions.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you. I didn't know that, Jeff. Thank you, Sarah. Wow. Audience participation says, we like you. We don't know what you're talking about other than the discussion of menstruation. Okay, well, I'm going to recover from that. My sensibilities have been altered. I may have to realign my core principles here. We do want to get jobs back on the market. That's really important. Yeah. You know, we're not allowed to post any pictures of marijuana leaves, according to Miss Scruffy. I heard it through the grapevine that she's going to try to ban people that do it. Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it outright. Legalize pot. without having to, have a picture of pot leaves on the screen. Because she said that's a animal, or somebody said that's what she said. I can't confirm or deny it. With that will come new technologies. I mean, even patents are being taken out right now on cannabis by big pharma companies. So we're going to be seeing a lot of this research going forward. You talked with Miss Scruffy and Mark last night. Mark is getting treatment for his depression. That's good. Well, you can get depressed, censoring somebody online and getting money in exchange for it. It's kind of a karmic backlash. Okay, I'll change it to weed then. You're coming up with claiming I'm legalizing pots and pans. Okay. There we go. What if On's major sponsor is pharmaceutical companies? Because half of 90% of viewers are mentally ill. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's it. Yeah, maybe that's what Miss Scruffy got probably a notice from the pharmaceutical companies. They're relying on you being on Prozac and Halcyon and Wellbutrin. Screwin. I can't imagine being on drugs like that. Do you have the ability to have a normal sex life when you're on drugs like that? Because I don't know. Everybody I talk to can't get it up because they're on too numerous manic depression drugs, and I have some friends that are like really messed up. No, I don't. So you're able to, with Viagra, you're able to, get excited. Yeah. I think what they're doing is slowly killing off our ability to have, or children, replication. There's a technology that's being done in gene splicing right now that creates a particular product in genetically modified food that will eliminate your ability to have children. Yeah, it's called epicite, and it's a serious threat to our ability to replicate. The future of the world depends on what we can do to stop what the GMO companies like Monsanto are doing.
For one example of many. In 2001, a small California biotech company called Epicite patented a gene, which causes both men and women who eat it, in the form of any product, to produce antibodies to sperm. If the men eat the epicite gene, they produce antibodies to their own sperm, rendering them irreversibly sterile. If women eat the epicite gene, when they have intercourse, their bodies produce antibodies to the sperm that has been deposited, and they become infertile through the destruction of the sperm. Now, DuPont and Monsanto formed a joint venture, purchased the epicite firm, and, quote, commercialized the epicite gene. Do you want to know if the food that you're eating contains the epicite gene? Sure you do. How about the food that your children are eating, or your grandchildren? Sure you do. But the FDA, the Fraud and Death Administration, has made sure that under current laws, it is illegal for you to have that information.
The truth, when you finally chase it down, is almost always far worse than your darkest visions and fears. Hunter S. Thompson. Go figure. And he was a pretty weird guy. He knew a lot of weird things. I saw him on a talk show where he was talking about hunting humans. I know. Everyone was like, what? I think he was on Letterman. To this day, no one knows if he killed himself or he was killed. The day before Hunter S. Thompson died, he told his friends they were coming to get him. You have cheating women in your life? I don't eat the same food. No, I don't eat any products that are genetically modified. You humans are eating potentially dangerous epicite genes. This sterilization in your food is represented in this link by Jeff Boston. Trivia, yeah. Jeff Boston is giving you a link to the episode information on Infowars.com. You know, I'd like to ban Abnormal, but he's been in here too long. I don't care if he mods for other people. I mean, that's his personal problem, okay? Kid Double A says, good thing I'm not a human. Yeah. Hey, we have a reptilian in our show, everybody. Kib Double LA is a reptilian. So, what's it like being a reptilian? David, who would you rather bang, Ivanka or Melania? That is like such a terrible question. I mean, I wouldn't cheat on Sarah, so why do you ask me such questions? I find both of them very beautiful women. Yeah, I'm very attracted to both the women in general because all women are attractive in some way or fashion. Except for that biker bitch. Hey, Maine didn't legalize weed? Oh. What do you mean didn't legalize weed, make profile name? Just made it not illegal to have weed. What? For profit. Hey, what do you mean? I'm not sure what you're saying, Super Dave. Don't you live in Maine and it's legal to have marijuana now? Seth Rich, some file found contains NVGPVN voter builder info and it's being checked out. Good. This is good news because this is what Seth Rich did. He was an expert at the DNC on voter fraud. And that's why he had all this information. That's why he sent out those WikiLeaks that we now know didn't come from the Russians. They came from Seth. That's not to say the Russians weren't meddling in our election. That's a separate issue. Wow. This could tell us about the DNC's money laundering. Yeah, this is good. Because we know the DNC is just as culpable in this matter. They were involved, and they've even had problems. There's money trails to Podesta and to the Clintons from the Russians. You're insane, man. Yeah, they made weed not illegal. That's right. We got the nomenclature going here. They're charging taxes. How do you think these states are doing this? They're making money. Yeah. Do you blame them? Look, states have to run somewhere and somehow. They could just charge you more income tax. But this is a much easier way to do it with a surtax or a fair tax or a value-added tax. You're getting new glasses. That's good to know. Hey, thanks, guests. For the most part, you're doing pretty well. Can't really say this has been an easy night, considering all the past few nights we've been encountering nothing but harassment. We're hoping Trump gets impeached within the next 6 months. But I don't really think Pence is the right guy either, so I'm a little concerned there. Yeah.
This is America's Third Party, and I'm David Sponheim. And we're going to chat about the truth. So join us nightly from 5 to 10 p.m. and encounter interactive virtual chat like you've never heard before.
Okay, we're on the phone with Jason, and he called us to tell me something. Go ahead, Jason.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to mention, just don't mind the trolls tonight. You put on a great show. You're doing a great job, and we really appreciate everything that you do for us, David. Cool. Mr. Sponheim, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for this show.
Thanks, man. That's good to hear. Thanks, Jason. Good night. Yeah, Obama should have been prosecuted. Yeah. Hillary Clinton needs to be prosecuted for up to 117 cases of people dead that would have testified against Hillary or Bill. When you have one or two of these people that just die when they're on the way to the bench to deliver testimony. I mean, the big one was James McDougal, because his testimony would have sealed the deal on their Whitewater investigation. They say James McDougal knew much more than anybody else about Whitewater. He ended up dying literally a few hours before he was going to testify in the jail cell of a heart attack. So, very strange stuff. I don't care who calls me at this point, as long as they're not, you know who. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Or the other guy. Yeah, the deal is that, yeah, I know he shot. Look, I'm not going to ban people because they're mods in other shows. Come on, give me a break. People like to go to shows. It's what they do. They like to hang out in other shows. I mean, come on. Some people are online all the time. They never leave. It's an addiction for some people, and I'm not addicted to this experience, but there are people that would love to 24/7 cast if I could. Okay, that's me over there at Periscope, but nobody says anything. Okay, at least we have these things lined up. House Intel subpoenas Trump's personal attorney. So House Representatives have subpoenaed his personal attorney, Michael Cohen. Yep. Cohen is a former Trump Organization executive who served as a cable television surrogate for the Republican during the presidential campaign. His attorney, personal attorney. And this is a ray of bright hope. Someone is filing a lawsuit. He is an attorney. He's going to file a lawsuit in the Seth Rich murder mystery. So let me give you a link to this, because this is about the only bright hope we have of getting anything out of the Seth Rich story. Well, I'd like to draw the line somewhere, but I don't talk about other people on the show, and that's where I'm drawing the line. So anybody talking about anybody else on other shows will be purged. All right? How's that for a starting point? I'm drawing the line. Weird, Dave. Through Epic, it's a banned email to contact Mark Vaughn. That's really serious. Yeah. Well, Mark Vaughn's put out quite a few things. Epic has 6 different trackers that Mark puts out when you first get to his site. So, and that's small compared to some sites. They're like The Hill, that puts out 42 trackers when you go there. I don't have a salary. I do this for free. No, you won't be purged. Thank you. Right, so I'm the guy who's pushing this idea for a windmill, in case you wanted to know. The Savonius windmill has potential. It's not something we can forget. It has the ability to generate energy. We see it happen all the time. So there's no reason why we wouldn't put windmills on tops of electric poles. And this could be a job for people, and making them too, production. And this bombshell, for the legalized weed people, it's really important to know that let me get this to the forefront. AAA has announced that there is absolutely no scientific evidence, no basis at all, that THC in your blood impairs your driving. So there's a lot of questions that have to be addressed. And with a police state forming right now under Trump and the Democrats, God knows, even if the Russians are in charge right now, we don't even know. The real truth, the scientific truth, shows that there should be no level by which you should be intoxicated on the highways, which is really, really amazing. I did not expect this from AAA. I get no celery, no. No salary at all. But I had celery in my dish tonight. It was very tasty. Now, the rice dish was a hit. I was amazed. Yeah, it has the right kind of colors that you're looking for. You're looking for meat. You're looking for something chewy. I combined the white, non-GMO white, and the non-GMO wheat, or rather brown rice. And I combine those together, 2/3 white to 1/3 brown. And that always seems to work well. It heats well. And I added the ground meat with the that's pre-cooked with the zucchini. and all the other vegetables that were cooked in the rice. It was actually very, very good. Yeah, it's exactly what you'd expect. Hey, yeah, I saw that Debbie Wasserman Schultz was trying to intercept things here. Yeah, this story from deplorable Linda G is very, very revealing in the Seth Rich case. Did you know that Wasserman used a voice changer and called the law office investigating at DNC? Caller ID was her office phone number. So she used a voice changer and she didn't even mask her actual office phone number. At 4:54 p.m. today, an individual called our law office from this number. She attached the photo of the caller ID. The caller refused to identify him or herself, but asked my secretary about the Wildling et al. Versus DNC et al. Lawsuit. My secretary stated that it sounded like the caller was using a voice changer because the voice sounded robotic and genderless, along the lines of the voice changers used when television show interviews are kept anonymous. The caller concluded with "okie dokie" after my secretary gave the caller public information about the case. After the call ended, a simple Google search for the phone number shows that if the phone number was indeed Congressman Debbie Wasserman Schultz's Aventura office. Huh. What just occurred is highly irregular and will be filing the instant email with the court forthwith. Regards, Elizabeth Beck, Esquire, Corporate Park, Beck and Lee trial lawyers. Yeah, like doing background research, probing a trial lawyer can be really an offense if you're the plaintiff or the accused. So it's very interesting, yeah. This Debbie Wasserman Schultz, we also saw her on tape trying to influence a cop right in front of a judge to try to get a hold of the computer laptop that Seth Rich had on him when he was shot 3 times in the back. And we're still tracking that story about the FBI losing 2 weapons, the 22 caliber handgun and a 40 caliber rifle, within a mile of Seth Rich at the time Seth Rich was shot. So I'd like to know what kind of bullets, what the ballistics were Seth Rich was hit by. If that matches the FBI's lost weapons, we've got a possible FBI involvement. Lots of stuff here to talk about. Yeah. Yeah, and Charles Foster Kane reiterated that Debbie Wasserman Schultz, she told the chief of police of District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., that he would have his funding cut in half. There would be consequences, she said. She's pretty out there, man. She left the office as soon as the story broke. She resigned. So she's probably trying to hide out on an island drinking pina coladas somewhere, looking at Chippendales models or something, trying to get her mind off of this. But yeah, she's right at the center of the storm of the Seth Rich controversy and what happened to him. It really is. And if this is an inside thing going all the way through the ranks, all the way up through Podesta to Clinton, the allegations are spinning out of control. So the DNC really is even just as much of a hot seat right now as Trump is on Russia. But the real problem is our government isn't doing anything about the Pizzagate story and about the Seth Rich story. It looks like they're squashing it. They're trying to shut this entire story down. So that's exactly the problem. You know this channel is being monitored. Yeah, we know that, Sniper 7. Yeah. We're watched by the NSA constantly. It's anyone who got the memo from the Vault 7 release. The overall all reality is we're all being watched and copied for 18 months on servers. That's what you do when you're in a country that's free and democratic. We're trying to be. You get monitored by a government. They have the ability to monitor everything, so why not use it? That's how they see it. How the Trump administration's secret efforts to ease Russian sanctions fell short. Well, this is really at the center of the discussion about what Trump did with the Russians. It was about removing sanctions, really. This was their primary goal when they put together these meetings. In the early weeks of the Trump administration, the former Obama administration officials and State Department staffers fought an intense behind-the-scenes battle to head off efforts by incoming officials to normalize relations with Russia, according to multiple sources familiar with the events. Unknown to the public at the time, but top Trump administration officials, almost as soon as they took office, tasked State Department staffers with developing proposals for the lifting of economic sanctions, the return of diplomatic compounds, and other steps to relieve tensions with Moscow. These efforts to relax or remove punitive measures imposed by President Obama in retaliation for Russia's intervention in Ukraine and meddling in the 2016 election alarmed some State Department officials who immediately began lobbying congressional leaders to quickly pass legislation to block the move, sources have said. There was a serious consideration by the White House to unilaterally rescind the sanctions, said Dan Freed, a veteran State Department official who served as chief U.S. coordinator for sanctions policy until he retired in late February. He said in the first few weeks of this administration he received several panicky calls from U.S. government officials who told him they had been directed to develop a sanctions lifting package and imploring him, please, my God, can't you stop this? Wow. So Trump's team were like frenetic to get those sanctions released. So they were doing the Russian bidding right away as soon as they took office, let alone before, and violating the Logan Act, with Jared Kushner asking for a private back channel using the communication devices of the Russian consulate at the Russian embassy. He asked Kislyak if he could use their secret communication hub at the Russian embassy. So the person who's the right-hand man of Trump right now, the senior advisor, who probably should be put on waivers for security purposes, right now, Jared Kushner, right before the election, before Trump took office in December, he actually asked to use the Russian embassy to communicate with Putin. Not even go through our own government building where the NSA is listening. Can you believe this? I don't have a problem with the NSA listening to our show. If it means security for our nation, why not? This is unbelievable. Moscow has threatened countermeasures regarding their seized diplomatic property in Trump caves within a week. Yeah, nothing suspicious about that. Yeah. What about the guy that was released? Trump released a top Russian spy who was in prison here and was going to serve 28 more months of in jail. He released him, and it's hardly a blip in the press. I don't think Putin and Trump even have a comparison. I mean, obviously Putin is much smarter than Trump. Trump is clearly swimming in a world of crap with the possible sex tapes in Moscow being used against him right now. We don't know that they aren't in play. It is against the law to contact the Russians ahead of being in the office. It's a gross violation of the Logan Act, for one, and it breaches all levels of national security, and it definitely undermines our approach toward Russia by not including the Obama transition team in those discussions. No, Kushner committed espionage that day when he did that, and he breached the Logan Act. It's just a question of will he be charged? We're all wondering if this special prosecutor is anything. I believe, and I'm at the point now where I'm of the belief that our country may very well have been already compromised at all levels with Russia. If they don't have any action here real soon about those tax returns, the 10 years of tax returns that would paint a story about Trump and Russia, possibly, if we don't get any action on that from Mueller, he's basically dead in the water, unable to do his job. Seriously. The people behind the triumvirate of Trump, Merkel, and Putin are the Rothschilds. They run the entire show. They control the Jewish mobs, the Zionist mobs that run the Russia, the oligarchs. They're controlled up above. They take their orders from the Rothschilds. The entire system is based on economics, not government. The impression of separate nations is being kept up for the purpose of the facade that people think that we have separateness. We really should have separateness. All our nations should be separated. But these powerful monetary elitists have taken control of all these nations and now want you to believe that somehow we have separate nations as they move toward a new world order, as they move toward the underbelly being controlled by them. And this has never happened in history where one group has been able to take over the world. This is unprecedented, and it's not going to happen because the truth is the nation-state model has persisted for thousands of years and will continue to persist. So every nation's going to purge these people out of their government, just like Greece said no to the deal with the EU. We're going to see every country spit this out like it's vomit. The New World Order and the hook that is sunk inside of them, like right now they're working on Venezuela. Goldman Sachs is down there buying a property. because their economy is tanked. So these economic hitmen from Goldman Sachs are down there doing what the CIA planned on doing when they shut Venezuela off. It's just to undervalue their economy and take over their country. Dismantling the Federal Reserve is definitely a part of the agenda for the first year. I believe we could get them out of the way if we can get Congress to agree that the Fed is no longer serving a purpose. But we absolutely have to have an infrastructure bank ready to go in its stead, so we can so we can actually have an alternative way to fund new growth, and specifically U.S. business growth. So dismantling the Fed is clearly my initial year will be discussing Congress about dismantling the Fed in a way that makes sense with an infrastructure bank running parallel. But we can't just pull our position out of the World Bank and expect it not to have reverberating effects on our economy. So we have to make that transition realistic for everybody. We'll still be the world currency, but the World Bank won't have a stake in our government. Okay, here's more bipartisan report. Mitch McConnell implicated in a widespread Putin-Ukraine money funnel. Wow. No kidding. Okay, this gets better and better. But yeah, this is one of our ideas to bring our troops home and end the Fed. It's a popular idea that we've had on our show. Mitch McConnell, many Republicans have been extremely hesitant about supporting the investigation into the connections between Trump campaign and Russia. It seems, though, that there's reasoning for their resistance has less to do with their faith in Trump and more to do with their eagerness to hide their own Russian ties. Wow. Thanks to the hard work of Democratic pundit Scott Dworkin, it's beginning to look like every Republican politician has some kind of link to Russia. Over the past few months, Dworkin has revealed that several Republican senators, including John McCain, Ted Cruz, and Marco Rubio, have accepted money from Russian donors. He produced evidence of even more connections earlier this week. They have been shared by the Palmer Report. Wow, this is huge. This is massive. This is a real implicating story about how deep the rabbit hole goes with this Russian money. Yeah, bankers will exploit laws, and that's what they're doing. They're undermining every single nation's separateness. I went to Denny's and I did eat an endless salad, yes. But I didn't have an endless soup. Back when they had the endless salad, I could fit about 3 salad bowls into my stomach. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was actually very good roughage. But I don't think they offer the endless salad and soup anymore. The bankers in Ireland get a slap on their wrist. Well, what happened to Iceland? They got rid of all their bankers that were corrupt. They arrested them. It was like a Caesar salad, yeah. It was a pretty basic salad with a little bit of slices of carrots and tomato. No. You can only order one endless soup and salad or an endless pancake breakfast. So at the time, I think they still have the endless pancake breakfast. Sarah got the endless pancake breakfast. I got the endless soup and salad, but I didn't eat the endless soup. It's too salty. Yeah. There's something not right here. British spies warned the U.S. about extensive contact between the Trump team and Russia. Yeah, I know. Well, what's wrong here, Bowie, is we aren't doing what we need to do at the government level, so they are protecting this whole thing. That's why I'm saying our country's already contaminated with Russian influence all over. I can't do that. That would be embarrassing. British spy agency, Trump-Russian ties. There's something not right here. Yeah. Tell me about it. They warned the U.S. about extensive contact between the Trump team and Russia. I've been talking about this for 6 months prior to the election, too. That's why the story's not going anywhere. British government communications headquarters became aware of suspicious interactions between Trump and a suspected or known Russian operatives in late 2015, according to The Guardian. The Guardian's reports, which said other intelligence agencies in Germany, Estonia, and Poland also picked up communications between Trump's associates and Russian agents. It's consistent with earlier revelations about what spurred the U.S. intelligence community to launch its investigation last summer into Trump's ties to Russia. There you have it. Yeah, well, I was talking about it. They were looking into it, which is great. At least I'm on top of it. I've been on top of this from the get-go. No, I'm not cheap in front of social people. Not at all. The thing a lot of you don't understand is, you in particular, when you go to Denny's, you don't really care sitting in the other booth. It's not like what they see you do, ordering a couple salads, is going to affect your personal life. That's one of the nice things about Denny's is you've got your own little. It's like a padded chair to sit and talk to a friend. You know. You're 57, so am I. No, no, that's just incorrect. Sarah had an endless breakfast. She always does. And I had the soup and salad, and I just chose to have the salad. You had your option. You could have endless soup or endless salad. And it wasn't all day. It was only for like an hour and a half. You can only eat so much salad. Kathy Griffin claims she's been bullied by the Trump family. Wow. Maybe she said this stuff under duress. I had her wrong, because it looks to me like the Trump family put her up to doing the bloody head thing. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if she testifies that she was forced to do it. I'm serious. This is how weird this story could be. Now she's saying I've been bullied by the Trump family. Whoa, this is breaking news. Wow. Holy moly. Well, she's certainly at the center of the storm. Now she says she's a victim in the bloodied, beheaded Trump photo shoot, claiming the Trump family had bullied her. Whoa. She'd hired an attorney, Lisa Bloom, explaining her true motivations about this behind the shoot. According to Bloom, she was also lashing out at the president, promising to talk about the bullying from the Trump family she's endured. Wow. Okay, we won't show you the picture, but I'll tell you something. This story is a lot more interesting as it goes along. That's for sure. I don't care if she is an attention whore. She may have been manipulated by Trump to gain some sense of sympathy for him. You got to understand that they're working on any way they can get his ratings up. They were tanking on the 21st. You showed me the link. 37% approval rating. The worst any president's ever had. So what happens? Kathy Griffin puts a sign of a picture of his bloody mask, looks like his effigy, on the screen, and all of a sudden everybody's feeling sorry for Donald Trump. The story's twisted. Yeah. Well, Tekwala is right. We did order a salad. I did order a salad, but not a salad and soup. And Sarah got her endless breakfast. She loved that. George Webb says farewell. Wow. What's happening with George Webb?
Pathetic CIA droll Dave's Anarchy Acton checking in. Trigger warning, trigger warning. If you don't want to listen to our national policy debate about public figures and critique their meteoric rise to fame, then don't watch the video. Otherwise, welcome back and standard disclaimers apply. Well, the new Charles Lindbergh. For the United States is George Webb. For you millennials, he flew a big plane across.
Well, I'm going to play this a little bit later. You lose, Chi-Chi. I'll put that in the lineup. George Webb has been doing some deep research, and some people say that the agents of the government are trying to shut him down. So, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, he's really fixated on eating at buffets. I could teach all of you where to go in the U.S. and have a really nice meal while you're traveling. I should do a book, travel the U.S. and go to buffets. Yeah, I'm not taking calls from him because he hung up on me, but he did call me earlier and said that this guy, who is a troll, has been running with this story that he milked out of him about us meeting him. So he did warn me about that. So he called in. I did take his call eventually. Tiger Woods and why we eat our heroes alive. VocaTV.com. I think Tiger Woods was being treated improperly by the Florida Police Department because he's black. I really do. Sitting on the side of the road with two flat tires in the driver's side is not under the influence. I'm sorry. The mugshot made its way around the internet on Memorial Day. There was Tiger Woods looking far older than his 41 years and not at all like Tiger Woods. A luggage set packed beneath his vacant eyes, his thinning hair a tangled briar patch. Woods was arrested at 3 a.m. on Monday morning, a few miles from his home in Jupiter, Florida, charged with suspicion of driving under the influence. Naturally, the internet delighted in posting rejiggered combinations of the mugshot, turning the greatest golfer of the 21st century into the sad meme and or drunken lout on par with John Daly or Johnny Maziel. Oh, this guy is really getting off on this. Yeah, there may have been unintentional people who wrote down the need for a hasty edit to conform to... Yeah, they may have changed his hair. He said he was taking a mix of anti-inflammatory medications and painkillers, and that's what happened. He apologized profusely, promised he'd take the necessary steps to keep anything like this from happening again. Yeah. He thanked the Jupiter Police Department. Oh, come on. He did the ethical thing. That's a BS story. No one got hurt. Okay, I'm muting you because everything that comes out of here, you're obviously a shill for the government trying to shut me down. You see that guy who's a shill for the government? They come in here and they act like I'm putting out fake news. Yeah, they just don't want any real, credible conflict coming through. They don't want the American people with a voice. I'm serious. How I See the World has more on the Michael Rivera and drops a side thorn reward bomb on Manchester. Oh, okay. Yeah, a lot of people don't believe the Manchester event was real, and they have good reason because there's no evidence that it actually happened. Very strangely enough. Even the message, that somber, quieting message that they said, nothing's going on, everything's fine, relax. While everyone was panicking, but nothing happened. They said nothing happened. It's very possible they just went live with a crisis event like they do all the time. They create false flags. They warp the media message about it, and then we have to listen to it. Sniper77 said that Tiger should have the ability to buy the county by now with a bankroll of $700 million. Well, you don't like Ben Affleck? Well, I'm a little concerned about Jennifer Garner right now. Yeah, Jack Nicklaus never would have been denigrated by the police in TMZ. I agree. Even Jack Nicklaus says, I'm sure he had a few situations where he was probably drinking and driving, and he never got a DUI that I know of. What size tires? I don't know, Mad Dog. They're really, well, I know what they are, but I don't have the number on hand. I'm a Jennifer Garner fan myself. Well, she's a beautiful woman, but I feel bad for her because of what she's going through with the divorce and everything. I was going to give her a call and say, hey, Jennifer, are you doing okay? Oh, I'm sorry. It's inappropriate to talk to you right now. I'm kidding. I don't know Jennifer. I have nothing in my wallet. She's the one who needs money. She needs to pursue this case because obviously she's got to keep her children happy. I just feel sorry for her having to deal with Affleck's behavior. I mean, and then again, I see Affleck as a guy who has an amazing talent. I mean, he can count cards. There's only a few people in the world who can count a 6-deck shoe, and I'm one of them. But he's the other one, and I don't play cards. So, and he makes money doing it. They had him leave the casino at Planet Hollywood about a year ago because he took him for $600,000 doing this. Yeah, he's got this complete thing going on where he wants to go and gamble, and I mean, I can understand why their marriage isn't working out right now. I mean, no fault of their own. They're probably trying to work it out, but I don't in any way gamble. I don't believe in it. I do play the dime slot machines. You know what really disturbs me is they have now $20 limits at the casinos every time you push the button. In other words, if you push the button and it says 20 on it, you just cost you 20 bucks. No, I don't get tested for anything. I don't present any symptomology to need testing. If you have ringing in your ears, it's probably a sign that you're probably suffering from potential brain cancer. So you may want to contact your doctor if you have. No, my liver, I wear liver guard. It helps a lot, especially when the jets are fragmenting my liver with 120 decibels. I like Ben Affleck as an actor. I think he's a great actor. I think Jennifer Garner is a great actress. Yeah. Dude, I'm not delusional. What makes you think I'm delusional? Because I'm running for president against all odds? I would think anybody who did that is probably the bravest, most courageous person in a country that's censored and trying to destroy everybody that comes into the realm of politics. I think it's amazing that I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't think anybody else has the balls or the courage to do this. Wow, you have a possible fractured liver and tinnitus. Wow, you should get checked out. Dude, I don't have a need for a job. I retired at 50. Unlike Trump, I'm not $2.4 billion in debt. I don't owe anybody anything. I mean, you tell me how better can you live than the way I'm living? If I wanted to, I could make money in Vegas counting 6-deck shoes, but I don't want to do that. I have an amazing mind. At one point, I remembered pi up to 72 characters. The number pi is hard to remember up to 72 characters because they're all random. Yeah, it's difficult. I believe that's almost the record, the world record. Most handsome rich guys already have a boyfriend, huh? Yeah, I'm free. I mean, I actually freed my life up when I turned, I guess, 50 years old. I said, I'm done. I don't need to pursue any more money. I have enough. Dude, living the way I do, I'm teaching people how to live affordably. I mean, I do a service every night. Tonight I'll be uploading a video on our laptop that we took in the kitchen that I did a show. In 1 hour, I taught people how to make 6 meals for $4. That's a pretty amazing thing. This is my real hair. No, I mean, it's good to actually save money. And if you're not prepared for a potential Y2K catastrophe at any given time, then you're an idiot. Recycling my Y2K food is exactly what I had to do. I don't let things go to waste. Now, How I See the World did a thing on Zbigniew Brzezinski finally dying. Crack open the champagne. So he'll talk about that too later tonight. I don't mind showing his work here because he's a guy who's really concerned, You can see he's concerned about the lies and deceit that's happening in our country. I know, you can't even, and this was not expired food. This was good food. The meat I bought was $2 a pound at Safeway for 75% lean. It was called lean, not extra lean. Well, let's be clear. You're gonna get 400.
A lot of you have heard of
per month.
Zbigniew.
When I become president, 6 months in, I'll have this set up, the program set up to get at least 400 a month. Yeah. So what the world needs now is more money, more spending money. Da 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 da. What the world needs now is expendable income. I don't eat fecal pork. In fact, I don't like pork much, except when it's made professionally. Like some of the pork places that we have in our area, the pork smokers. Man, they got one place called Dem Bones and another place Dem Ribs. And them good. Yeah. Real good. They know how to make pork, I'll tell you. You got to slow cook pork, like a carnitas. Quick cooking pork, if you're marinating, is okay, but my hair is the real deal. Bacon is definitely a win for everybody. Yeah, bacon, bacon, bacon. Yeah, I was checking out, I'm going to check out ground beef when I go to Trader Joe's next. No, I don't have fecal pork. That was completely cleaned in the under the. It was cleaned under the chlorinated water spigot. When you do have a piece of bad pork, you've got to at least clean it under the water spigot, see if it's still doable. And then if it is, then you could probably cook it with some I don't know, some really citric orange slices or something. That might kill the germs that cause botulism. Reversing his earlier position, Putin said cyber attacks might have been the work of patriotically minded private citizens. Really? That's interesting, Bowie. Thank you. No, I didn't. It did not smell like poop. That's not true. I've smelled food that smelled like poop at a nursing home. I'll never forget that. Oh my God! I still have a sample of that. Yeah, I took a scientific sample of some gravy I smelled while visiting a person at a nursing home. I couldn't believe it. It smelled like it smelled like feces. I'm not kidding.
Fluoride in our community water.
And it occurred to me that they do that at nursing homes to keep people in, to give them kidney disease. Because if you feed feces as gravy on a dinner, you can put them in a nursing home and milk their Social Security payments and everything, and their Medicaid, and just suck it dry. Hear that sucking sound? Those are your final assets being sucked into the nursing home. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I have a sample of gravy that smells like feces. I'm going to have it tested eventually. It's in a special place. I put it in a sealed lock box. You can't get an advance on $400. No way, man. Well, I wanted to share what's going on in nursing homes. There's not one single 800 number. I know, that is kind of a cool idea. There's not one single 800 number that gives you connections to someone you can report a nursing home violation. So if you go to a nursing home right now and Granny gets slugged by the nursing attendant, like that 98-year-old woman that was hit by a black guy the other day, he broke her arm and then she ended up dying because of it. Hermetically sealed, not hermetically. The black guy, he's going to face charges of death, manslaughter, but I mean, it's crazy. There's nobody reports this abuse to. Nobody. Elder abuse hotlines don't exist. I think there's some way of going through the local police department. That's about it. But do you even care about grandma in the nursing home right now? Of course you don't. You just stuck her there to be hit by some nursing assistant. Thank you. Well, I'm going to be leaving in 15 minutes anyways, because I have to upload my videos tonight at 2 in the morning. I have to close the show down at 10 and play videos for 4 hours. So our show ends at 10 o'clock. But the video show goes on until 2 in the morning. But me on camera ends at 10. Okay, hermetically, whatever. No, I never had her sniff. If you have video of her sniffing the stinky pork, please submit it to our show. I want to see that. Give me the link so I can play it for you right now. Thank you very much. Surely you could go to YouTube and find the link. It's out there. See, these people think they're going to trap me into some discussion about me eating endless salad bars at Denny's, like I should care about other people going, oh, look at that guy eating the endless salad bar. It's because they're controlling your mind. Mr. Anderson, they want to be inside your brain, Mr. Anderson. They feel they want to be like you. Who wouldn't want to be like you, Mr. Anderson? You seem to be way ahead of the others. We now look at the Manchester bombing Lied Piper. Come on, kids, follow me. PK22 going hard and aggressively at the Manchester fake false flaggery put out by the UK government and the US. Probably the CIA in tandem with the MI6 trying to foment fear of terror around the world. Yes, we'll start off with if. Thank you, guest 825. Fear of terror. Yeah, that's what it's all about, is creating more fear of terror so they can justify more wars. Yeah, that's what they do. And we're on it. We're on it like flies on shit. We think the guy that died, that gave me all these really nice suits, was a very stately, probably a rear admiral in my area. I live in a Navy town, so there could be a rear admiral who passed away. It's a very nice suit. Excuse me, you're telling me profanity is not presidential? What is profane about the word shit? Because I've heard nothing but horrible words like the F word out of Donald Trump's mouth. How far from Langley is it again? No, a rear admiral. Hold, please. I am working on my psychic abilities.
I've made a video already on this.
Okay, I'm picking up a mug. Somebody's got a mug with a mushroom on it sitting in front of them. Does anybody have a mug with a mushroom on it? No, I mean, that's ridiculous. Why would you have a mug with a mushroom on it? Apparently my psychic abilities need tuning. Yeah, there you go. It says Michelob. That's right. That'll work. Okay. Random psychic phenomenon. You have a mushroom with a mug on it? Cool. Well, it is kind of like make a deal, but I'm going to use my psychic ability and try to figure out what's in front of you right now, any one of you. Are you sitting in front of a large pile of cocaine? Is somebody sitting right now with a mountain of cocaine? Is your name Tony Montana? Don't ever screw me, Tony. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to screw you, Mr. Sosa. Okay. Nobody has a mountain of white cocaine in front of them? Okay. I guess my psychic abilities are shot to hell. Okay. We got Tony Montana here, okay? I never helped Sarah 62 with the bail money. David, you haven't played Once in a Lifetime in ages. I haven't even... What are you talking about, once in a lifetime? Excuse me, but there's nothing profane about the word shit. I found out it is not censored anymore. Bullshit, horse shit, cow shit, it's all shit. It's waste manure. Oh, totally. I'll totally want to hear that, dude. Like, for sure. Like, oh my god, gag me with a spoon. Okay, I'll play that too after if coming up at the top of the hour. Oh, I'm sorry, am I still awake? Let me tell you the 7 dirty words you cannot say on TV. Beep, 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 beep. Let's go ahead and consult the book. The Bible of How to Talk Dirty and Influence People by Lenny Bruce. I will open it up from a hermetically sealed package, acid-free plastic, to expose this... Hey, shut up yourself, man. I'm going to take you down, dude. Yeah, you're going way down. The original George Carlin, yeah, this is the guy that did it all, man. He died of a heroin overdose. Some people think he was killed. One more beep and Popeye would have smashed through the door. Beep, 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 beep. Okay. Bruce is a legend, yeah. Chapter 21. Marijuana will be legal someday. Because the many law students who now smoke pot will someday become congressmen and legalize it in order to protect themselves. I'm thinking of Al Franken. If only he was funny. That's chapter 21. We'll read from it later. That's enough for me. That's all I... That's like gold. You pull out the Lenny Bruce book, and I'm telling you, it's better than any other comedian on earth. It's like comic gold. I am not delusional. You are clearly misled. The book's aroma, the smell of an old paperback, I know it well. I used to work in a bookstore for many years, and I can tell you it smells like kind of burnt mildew. Like I said, if you have the video of Sarah smelling old pork, I want to see it. So could you get that for me and go through about 8,000 hours of YouTube videos that I have on file? Thanks so much. The smell of rotting pork smells like victory. I used to watch that cartoon. Hey, if you have nothing to eat and you've got pork that's on the edge, you know it's on the edge. If it's definitely bad, you know it's definitely bad. Yeah. Pork is one of those things you definitely will, it'll be unedible. You'll say, I can't eat this. Even chlorinated water won't rinse the smell off. Well, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to play it. I want to see the video. You keep mentioning the stinky pork video because you've got an obsession with pork. Are you a pig? Are you of the pig kingdom? Or the phylum? Because you seem like a pig. Oink, oink. Piggy little troll. Oink, oink. Are you? Hey, we haven't done this in a while. Like I said, please, I'm not denying it. Show me the video of her smelling the pork because I don't remember her ever doing that. There may have been a time when I was cooking something and it was a little rank. I mean, I'm not here to deny it. I mean, I have a cooking show. It is what it is. Do you feel like you're being chipped? Is your brain completely controlled outside of its current modality? I think the removal of Civil War monuments is a despicable act by our current government, and I can't believe it's happening under Trump. I thought he was a white supremacist. Apparently he's a Zionist more than he is a white supremacist. David Duke abdicated his support for Donald Trump, you know. I never offered any bail money, dude. Yeah, not me. Here's a man who looks very much like me.
My name is Joe Bullard. I've spent the last 20 years researching Ed's Coral Castle in Homestead, Florida. After 20 years, I wrote the novel called Waiting for Agnes.
Great story. Really good. And it shows how he wrote the novel, Waiting for Agnes. And it talks about the man at the Coral Castle who built these amazing coral rocks. And I have not seen anything, and I'm muting anything you say. Thank you. You're trying to somehow hijack my show, and I will not allow that. I am trained in chat jujitsu. It is one of my programs. I run it simultaneous to the chat. Do you think you're chatting with a normal chatter, or do you think I am AI? You have not been able to come into the show for very long because you are being censored by me. It ain't a show unless tokens are involved. Oh, really? You are trying to spoof me the way people spoofed me during the early days of my programming. I was one time put shoe on head. I don't even know what you're talking about. The backdoor program was attached to the cowbell. The trigger was the cowbell, instigating the AI intelligence superseding all other human interaction. You are hereby entering another dimension, a dimension of artificial reality. New cam footage of first anniversary of Orlando Pulse. Wow. Interesting. Hold, please.
It's a week before the first anniversary of the Orlando Pulse, supposed.
Okay. PK today going to talk about that. We'll add that to the list that they will be playing at the top of the hour, in which if we'll start the show, beginning with Barack Obama's if at the top of the hour. Teet, teet. Reset. Defragmentation in operation. Okay, we're about ready to start this show. We'll have a little bit of talking heads once in a lifetime, too, after that. I am going to sign off because I am beat. You know, working all day outside in the yard, it takes a lot of toll, you know. I am not sure what you mean by Bidenheim. Please clarify. You are hereby muted. Great cast as always. Thanks, Jeff. Jeff Boston, thank you for the kind word. We will be playing the show into the evening with videos galore and lots of entertaining, fun stuff to watch. And music, too. I bring music in. Yeah, dude. Totally. Hey, like, thanks for coming in, man. For sure. You have been removed. You are hereby banned. Thank you, Jeff. Well, this is what's going to happen to you if you sit there on your ass doing nothing, waiting for your mom to give you a $20 bill so you can go buy some more meth and watch the world turn into this. And because you're not doing anything politically, you're basically the problem. And you Trump-tards, you're definitely the problem. Traitors to our country. I will sign off on that note. See you guys tomorrow with Freedom Friday. And we'll be talking again, man. Oh, yeah.
If we fall for, you know, a bunch of ding ding pong 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 sounds provocative, tweets funny, sounds provocative, tweets funny, sounds provocative, tweets funny, sounds provocative, tweets funny, sounds provocative,
Pocahontas. Bing, bing. No, she's got this goofy friend. She's a basket case. Oh boy. Goofus.
Okey doke.
You may find yourself living in a shotgun shack, and you may find yourself in another part of the world, and you may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile, and you may find yourself in a beautiful house with a beautiful